Hello. Hi. I'm here. It's not gonna be a long stream, but I felt like playing the game. I am still addicted to it. I will eventually play another game someday. But I also do short streams, so that's also what's taking me so long to even get through this game. And the game's on top of that, it's difficult, or at least more difficult than Hollow Knight. But yeah, I like it so far. But yeah, 1 second. Might play something in the background too, just to keep me alert, because I might be fighting a boss soon. I'm not sure. I found out where I need to go. I tried to stream yesterday, but I didn't actually make any progress. Well, I killed one boss, one random boss that I didn't even have to kill. But oh, excuse me. I just drunk something, so I got the burps. But yeah, I found out where to go now by hugging a bunch of walls. So we're gonna progress to this area I've never been to. Oh man, I'm so burpy. I got some more of the drink too. I might be burping for a while. But anyway, yeah, I'm here. I was watching King of the Hill a little bit too before I went out earlier, and then I just came back. I'm almost done with it. I got like 3 episodes left. Yeah, the show is not bad. For an updated time skip of the show that's set in a more modern time, it's not bad. I fucks with it. I hope the next season's gonna be good. Hopefully they get another season. Like it didn't really jump the shark too hard. There's some decisions they could have done differently, but for the most part it's pretty faithful to the original style, even with all the changes. Anyway, enough of that. I'm looking for something to play in the background too. Kind of stalling.
So if you're wondering, if you're following from Europe and you're...
Oh, this is just I have a bunch of tabs open, so I might as well just go through all these tabs and then close them. We'll listen to all these tabs. That'll at the same time. That's just me doing chores and cleaning up my tabs so I can close them. Just landed on a Hasanabi tab. You also have auto play on, so a lot of my tabs just go to some shit that I never clicked on. It just goes to some auto playlist that YouTube has. Asanabi isn't feeling great about the future is the name of this. Okay, what is this about?
You're looking at all the chaos that's unfolding in America and you're saying, oh, well, at least we're not here. At least it's not happening here. You are looking into the future. For years and years, Europeans would come into my chat and be like,
France.
You guys are such fools. You're so silly. You're so stupid. We don't have this kind of shit in Europe. And I told you, I warned you.
Look at France and Europe.
Here today will happen
UK
in Europe
right now.
tomorrow. And in the last decade of me constantly saying this, you saw the rise of AFD in Germany. You saw the rise of nationalists in France. You saw the rise of the Reform Party in the UK.
France has gotten way more racist.
Is everywhere.
Especially since
liberal
Africa kicked them out.
capitalist countries. And they are going to do the exact same thing that Donald Trump is doing right now when they have a little bit of the grip of power. Okay? When they control the levers of power, they are going to turn around and they're going to suppress dissent. They're going to violently and physically apprehend you. The only way out of this, the only other alternative out of this is socialism. The only other alternative out of this is to talk to your neighbors, organize in your communities, explain to them that it is actually global capital that is destroying their lives. Because these people do not actually...
Not the brown immigrants or whatever.
Cigar
the dumb shit they're
smoke-filled
saying
back
in Europe right now.
rooms where they fantasize about what to do with you, where they treat you as cattle. They do it in broad daylight. They do it at the World Economic Forum. They do it at Davos. They do it at the G10 summit. They do it at these summits where they get together and say, hey, We all have our class goals, right? We are aligned by the same interests. They do it in broad daylight. And the
Yep.
only reason why they can do it in broad daylight is because so many of your neighbors, so many of your friends have been deluded into thinking that the socialist alternative is dangerous. The
Yeah,
socialist
they've been
alternative is
indoctrinated to think
scary.
that.
Oh my God, there could never be a better system than the one that we exist under.
I was
And
talking to my
the
mom
other
a while
system
ago.
is
She
scary
thought
and dangerous and violent.
socialism
If the trend wouldn't be
was a
started in the
scary
U.S.,
and evil
we wouldn't
thing,
talk about this in the UK and
or
Europe either.
so she heard.
This
She didn't
is
know about
the
it,
beating
but I've been
heart of
talking to her more
capitalism,
about it.
the global domination over communism.
She says it sounds
Wherever
better than what
might
we have.
been fomented. Okay, America won the Cold War, and it was a very costly process.
Sadly.
And America has been suffering since its victory over the USSR as well. Because in the aftermath of the dissolution of the USSR, we reached an unprecedented level of super profits that are constantly expanding.
Not we,
that are,
a bunch of corporations
and
and
in the
billionaires
process of
did.
that expansion, that unlimited greed,
We didn't
has
get any
created
benefit from
an
that.
environment where the working poor get shafted worse every single fucking year. That's what happens when you have no safeguards. That's what happens when
Yeah.
there's no counterbalance. So,
When
of
you-
course,
when you got rid
this
of the
country
rival-
that successfully
I'll pause him right quick.
destroyed any alternative vision for an economic evolution.
He's finally brought it together. I don't think he's ever expressed it like this. But yeah, this is what I've been saying for a while. Yeah, after the fall of the Soviet Union, the U.S. had no rival to check their hegemony and to try to look good in front of. After the Soviet Union went away, the U.S. that was the beginning of the incremental dissolving of our entitlements, our safety nets, workers' rights, civil rights. That's when they slowly started to unravel that stuff incrementally, and it's really starting to be noticeable now after the 90s when that started. So after 30 something years now. Yeah, that's what happens. The Soviet Union was keeping the U.S. somewhat honest for a while. That's why people thought things were better. But that's because they had a rival they were competing with, and they wanted to look better than the Soviet Union. So they allowed a little bit of prosperity. They had things like safety nets. They had strong unions and workers' rights. They had more affordable housing and health care. They had things like FHA loans. They had the GI Bill. They had people still had pensions. None of that shit is really a thing anymore, or it's either being rationed out or it's not a thing anymore. And it's been happening in Europe too. Europe got more entitlements than we did because they were more involved in this in the World War II. They were more affected by it, and they also had a closer proximity to the Soviet Union, so they had to really look good in front of the Soviet Union, which was next door to them. East Germany and onward. So they allowed a bunch of more entitlements compared to the U.S. They had actual universal health care over there. They had longer vacations. They had pensions. Decent unions. Yeah, I would say stronger unions over there than even the U.S. because the rivalry with the Soviet Union. So yeah, that's why that was the case. That's why Europe was allowed to have all that stuff. Also, but there was a catch to it. The U.S. said, well, you can get all that stuff so you can look good next to Soviet Union, which is practically your neighbor, but you're not going to be allowed to militarize without our say. You're going to have to buy our weapons, all right, whenever we allow you to or tell you to. Okay, you can't really have a strong military. This was the stipulation they gave to a bunch of European countries in the EU after that, solidified. And now like EU's practically beholden to the U.S. They're forced to buy gas from the U.S. now because the U.S. forced them not to buy gas from like China or Russia or India. They were forced to sanction India or and tariff India as well. So they're kind of beholden to the U.S. and they're also beholden to U.S. security because they weren't allowed to militarize very much. This is why we also have a bunch of military bases in Europe. Right? But yeah, after the Soviet Union, yeah, they're not obligated to do any of that shit, any of the things you could think the U.S. was good for. Like they talk about the good old days. Yeah, but that was because of the Soviet Union. There is no more Soviet Union, so things are getting noticeably worse. Anyway,
is going to have an audience of receptive, brainless losers who will then turn around and say, no, it's not. The systems that we exist under are not the reason why we're suffering. It's the Guatemalan migrants. It's
it's the brown people.
Okay.
It's the transgenders who don't make up barely much of the population
groups.
at all.
Does it feel things are more affordable for you? Wake up.
No.
At some point, you have to recognize that it's actually not the trans neighbors that you have that are
all two of them
destroying your lives, that are dominating your lives. It's not the Guatemalan
it's not very many of them.
just working a fucking factory to make sure that you can get cheap goods and commodities that you can consistently
not that a dictatorship
consume.
of the minority can't happen.
The reason why you feel like you're never
the real minority we need to be focusing on,
or retire at a fucking reasonable age. We exist.
The real minority we need to be focusing on is the billionaires. That's that's the main minority that is the issue, not the ethnic minorities or the LGBT minorities. It's those the people with all the wealth and power. That's who we need to be focusing on. They're influencing our society. They're dictating our laws. You would think people would put two and two together. You're getting less and less money. Your money's not. It's not spreading as long as it used to. Yet, the corporations and billionaires are making record profits. You think you put two and two together. It's almost like the more money you lose, the more money they make. Isn't that weird? I wonder why that's happening. It's almost like they set it up that way. To concentrate wealth away from you and into their pockets. They got people like the fucking Elon Musk to go and fuck with your credit protection and financial protection. Don't you find that odd? That's why you have no money. It's not the brown immigrant who has no fucking power. It's not the one creating the laws. Not the one printing the money or sanctioning the money. They're not the ones who have gold reserve holdings or any of that shit. They have no authority over that. So how can it be their fault? Makes no sense. I think the billionaire who's writing your economic policy probably has more to do with, why you're not succeeding, why you have less money, why everything is so expensive, why they're still making record profits in spite of the fake ass inflation and immigrants. It's really weird that the rich people are still making money in spite of the immigrants and the brown people that we're blaming for those issues. I have no idea. Sorry, I have no idea where to go. Wait, I have an idea now. Now I think I remember. This might be right. Centers Road is where I need to get back to. This place is confusing. Not here. What the hell was in here? I might just ride that elevator all the way back up. Who's a bitch? But yeah, I also got new tools that I didn't notice that I had. I just now realized I'm gonna use one of them. Fuck this guy. He needs to be cooked. He's literally cooked. I just wished it lasted longer. It'd be good to use on a boss. I just wanted to show it off. That's the shit you save for like a boss. I also got one that makes me like really fast. Here we are. This is where I was trying to get to. Center's Road. I've never been here. You need to be helped? Oh, I can't even hit him. Alright. Go fuck it. Oh god, I hate this. Yeah, I did kind of preview this area off stream, but I didn't go anywhere past this screen we're on when I did. And then I left, but I did encounter this awful enemy. And it's like no way to hit it without them chewing you, like grabbing you with their mouth. It's like you gotta hit them from behind or something. I don't know. Hit it from behind. God damn it! You little shit! What the fuck? Cook you up. Damn it. They bite the hell out of you too. I'm dead. I'm fucking dead. I don't know what the hell that is, man. Some aphid? Some weird rabbit aphid? I hate that. They're just as bad as they are in real life. I mean, with how nasty they are. They're just really vicious here. They remind me of crocodiles, but they're a bug variant of like what would be a crocodile. Where am I trying to go? Yeah, this is where I'm trying to go. You motherfucker. I hate these things, man. Like I'm trying to jump on a platform and they hit me right in the middle of it. The positioning sucks. And I'm trying to charge, motherfucker. Don't hit me. There's gotta be like a faster charge you get later. Oh, maybe that one thing. Oh, yeah, I need to show off the other tool I got. It might make me charge faster. I'll show it off later. I need to get to a bench when I get up there. Yeah, might as well use that. Fuck that little nerd. I gotta progress. Alright, get this cocoon. I should probably use a projectile tool for this enemy. They don't fight fair at all. Little shit. Okay. I'm gonna cook him up. Oh, you can climb too. Oh, this thing is like a tremor from Tremors. Oh, he does 2 damage. What the fuck? No wonder he killed me so quick. That enemy does 2 damage. I didn't even notice that until now. Well, how the fuck do I get in here? Oh, you son of a bitch! Oh my god. Oh my god. This is bad. Oh shit. This is a terrible enemy. How do you fight it? It's like they get an auto grab attack on you. You can't even deflect that move. Okay, fuck it. We need to put on another tool. The shit I got on is not gonna cut it. What the hell is this? This thing is called the muck roach. It's a roach. Ugh. Starved pack bug with an insatiable appetite. Yeah, I'll say. Despite their tough hide and pungent meat, roaches breed rapidly, so are sometimes farmed for food. Yeah, I'm not eating this. Alright. Defeat 19 more. Oh. I get a hunter's note for defeating these things. So like I'm kind of obligated to kill these. Alright. I got another one I need to kill. Silk Sniper. Oh, these things I've not killed enough of either, I guess. They suck to fight. Like, like, a lot of these enemies are like bastards to fight. Like, this thing really sucks. You can barely even attack them. Oh, man, I'm slacking on these. Because these are the annoying enemies to fight. That's why I'm slacking on them. I typically try to run away from them. Run past them. They suck. What more can I say? Alright, let's use that on these damn muck roaches. These fucking fuck roaches. Don't touch me. Don't you fucking touch me. You stay where you are. Stay in the place where you live. Don't come at me, bitch. Alright. Yeah, fuck this little thing. You need to get... Come here, cuck. Get fucked. Yeah, alright. I should have got it. Damn it! I should have waited till multiple of them came over, so then I'd hit them all at the same time with that shit. There's a sleeping one up there. Hey, Sleeping Beauty. They can jump too. Oh my god. They also climb, so I better use this before it's too late. Losers. Damn, they got a lot of fucking health, though. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Motherfucker, you better not chew me up. Yeah, I finally got one of them. Yeah. Come here, doggy. Oh, there's another one. Oh my god. They multiply. They don't die. Shit. They're all coming out of a cage is what it's... Okay, maybe that's what it... Oh my shit. What's up with the... I'm trying to get behind them. But they're all like following me. How the hell do they know where I'm going? I might as well pick this up before it's too late. Rosaries? Shit. I'm getting out of here. I'm not even gonna dare fight them right now. I'm running past them until I get to a bench. Yeah, this is the worst room in this game by far right now. Oh, there's a bench. Thought so. Did I go this way? Can I go this way? No, I can't. Oh, it's an NPC, it looks like. I'll free you from that prison. Don't you worry. Get away from me, little dude. Little fucking dude. Fuck your bolos. I don't care. Shit. Now I care. Oh, there's spikes there? I didn't know that was... Okay, I'm running past everything. That place is a nightmare. I'm gonna be having nightmares about that after I finished. God damn it. Alright, I'll play the rest of Hassan. Looks like I'm gonna be there for a while, so we're gonna need some background there. Some background noise there for that area.
Complete domination of global capital, multinational corporations that are owned by people who have no loyalty whatsoever beyond expanding their profit margins when profit rates have a tendency to fall.
They're
they will
capitalists. They're fascist.
Extra profit margins everywhere they can. And the only malleable aspect in the commodity production side that can be squeezed is labor, whether that be seeking out new labor markets after you have dominated them through war and designing a system of unequal extraction from the global south, or whether it be gig economy jobs that are readily available for all so that you can always have a fucking cheap servant at your disposal through your fucking phone. But when one side of the equation, when an alternative vision is cast aside as dangerous, scary, violent, Americans find themselves in this drunken stupor as they sleepwalk towards fascism, because there are other alternatives. When capitalism inevitably
there's a better way.
creates economic pressure, when capitalism inevitably creates these shocks within the system, fascism thrives because it's seen as a way to restore the hierarchical order by force. And that's how it's working here in the Western world. It's not just the United States of America. We say jump, those European leaders say how high. They are completely and utterly servile in a way that is impossible to ignore now. Why is it impossible to ignore? They come after spending years and years shitting on Donald Trump, calling him an orange buffoon. They come and they genuflect. They come and they say,
they go and kiss his booty,
sir.
though.
Yes, master.
They kiss his booty when they
more
get here.
tithing. We will do everything in our power to make you happy. I've been warning about this moment in American history for the past decade, every single fucking day. Every single day. They won't even let you in on a crumb of the profits, the super profits that they are generating in the heart of Western Empire. And they won't even do it as riot tax. They won't even offer you modest social democratic reforms because they know they can get away with it. They know that your attention will go elsewhere.
Yeah, I want your attention on the scary black man, scary brown man, scary immigrants. You know, he says he let him. This NPC is wild. Well, not wild, but I sympathize with him. It's better to let him rot there in prison than to rage against the machine. I'm like, come on, guy. You always need to rage against the machine. The fascist machine, anyway, I would say. Not every place is deserving of your rage, but yeah. This place for sure. To waste in a cell forgotten, 'tis no worse a fate than the haunting that binds Farloom's many fragile minds. Oh yeah, that silk shit's pretty bad. As you wish, prisoner. His name is the Green Prince. That's a cool name. I think that's actually a character in Arthurian legend. No, that's the Green Knight. Which I guess might as well be a Green Prince too, to be honest. I think they have royalty as their mother. Their mother is like royalty or something. But I might be wrong on that. Very well, prisoner. Okay, we'll come back. I'm gonna save you anyway. I don't care. Anyway, I just wanted to read what he said.
Where? Okay? Today you tap in. Today you tune in, but tomorrow you'll forget about it. Because they know that even if you do pay attention to it, you will inevitably feel discouraged. You will inevitably feel like change is an impossibility. And therefore, you'll seek out nihilism, appropriate targets.
Yeah, that's what this country promotes,
You'll
nihilism.
seek out areas that are seemingly are more malleable,
In the
people
West
that are
in
more
general, really.
accessible, like your least favorite Twitch streamer or your least favorite fucking content creator, this or that. These systems are seemingly impenetrable. And that's why I understand why people are so malleable and why people fight amongst themselves, because they feel like maybe it's easier. Maybe it's easier to just like have the government pack up vulnerable populations that I've been taught to fear. There is no difference between a black person and a white person. There's no difference between an undocumented migrant and a documented migrant and a natural-born U.S. citizen. No difference whatsoever. Not even a little bit. Everyone has unlimited potential. It is up to us to unlock said potential. But people, unfortunately, are held behind through systems of inequality. And the people that refuse to address those systemic, to address the systemic inequality would rather have you servile, would rather have you deluded, would rather have you angry and fighting amongst yourselves. It's not different from when Lenin presented this reality, and it's not different right now. I'm not saying something that is new, okay? This has always been the design. The only difference now is that capitalism is completely won. It has dominated our lives. It has dominated our existence.
It's one
We take it
here.
for granted. We
Not so
think
much
it's a
in
part
China.
of human nature. We can't
China
even
has more of a
envision
socialized
an alternative
system.
reality where we say, hey, can people get a little bit more in return for their productive labor, for their output? No. That's socialism. That's terrifying. That's bad. Why do you want to reward lazy people? They're not working hard. And this is not a CEO saying this. This is not the owner of a mega corporation saying this. This is Americans who work that are saying this. Think about that. They've been so brainwashed and so fucking brain broken that they turn around and say, people just like me, working an honest job, people that look exactly like me, people that have the exact same class interests, they're bad people. They're the real enemies, actually, and not capital.
That's due a lot to the brainwashing that just goes on. It's not like they naturally came to this conclusion on their own. There's just a lot of indoctrination. I remember when I was, I've been homeless before, and what I noticed when I was homeless is that it's not even just the rich who think this or people who are comfortable who think this. You can get homeless people who think this because they've been, indoctrinated. They've gotten the same indoctrination. That's why. All the media they know, all the information they know or get is basically filtered through the lens of a bunch of wealthy corporations and billionaires. So their framing is only what they frame things as. So of course that's what people are going to think for the majority in this country, when that's basically what all of their media and all of their news frames things in that way. The working class are evil criminals. Only good, only great men and who are very rich can fix anything and know how to do anything. Basically. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. Fuck this. I don't know where I'm supposed to go after this. This is like a horror movie, man. I swear. Oh my god, it's fucking terrible. This place is a nightmare. Who the hell? Oh, it's a little rat bug. What the fuck? Yeah, even like I interacted with a bunch of homeless who would say a bunch of the most corporate talking points about workers. Oh yeah, they would argue against raising the minimum wage because, and the reason they would give was just something that some fucking billionaire said. It's not something they had an independent thought about and came to their own conclusion. No, it's just they've been convinced that workers need to just get pauper wages. The wages, their pay shouldn't raise at all, no matter what inflation's going on, no matter how much price gouging is going on. Wages should always stay the same, while CEO bonuses go up every year. All right, that makes a lot of sense. All right, because the billionaire great men told me in that thing I read or that news piece that I saw. Or that movie I watched. It's like reinforcing all the shit that they watch and all the information they get. So even a homeless man will fall for it and believe it and regurgitate it. They would argue not only against stuff like raising wages, but they would argue against affordable housing as well. Like, And they would also get mad at immigrants and say, oh, they're the reason why. This rich man told me that's why I don't have any money. This rich man who's still getting money in spite of the immigrants, and his bonus goes up every year, but he'd say he'd go broke if he raised my wages. So I gotta believe what he's saying. Like, you can get even homeless people to believe this, no matter what they're, Like, I'm just trying to point out that, like, economic status, unless you're a billionaire, you can get anybody to fall for this. They don't even have to be comfortable. They don't have to be middle class at all. Oh my god, I'm gonna lose all of my fucking shit. That's right. Where's my cocoon? Oh, I don't even have a map. That's right. Fuck. Oh, this is a new room. Had to go down. It was down here. Fuck all that. Where's my cocoon? Get off of me, nerd. Dick. Oh shit, get off of me. I swear to God. I'm getting out of here. Where do I go after this? Shit. I'm gonna go back to that other room. That was up top. Oh fuck. I don't know how you even fight these things. Ho, what's up, man? Your name's Edith. That's a cool name. I'm just chilling. Having a nice little wind down with some, you know, a very soothing, chill game, which is Silk Song. It's so chill. It's not stress-inducing at all. It's not a horror movie at all. This fucking area I'm in. It's a fucking breeze. These fucking abominations aren't annoying at all. Damn it. Damn it, you mother... Oh, I got it. Fuck. I'm getting out of here. I need a bench. Let me in! Let me in! Come here, come here, come here, nerd. Fucking nerds. Dorks. Where's a bench? Please. Well, there's a bench in that room apparently, but apparently it's like way above my head. It's way above my pay grade. I need something closer to home. Ah! Oh, fuck it. Pretty good, just chilling as fuck. I know, it's a nice night, isn't it? Not too hot or too cold right now where I am. Hope that's the same for you. It's nice. Yeah, what day is it today? Isn't it Tuesday? It's one of them days. Not quite a Friday or even a Monday anymore. Chill little weekday there. I don't know if you've ever played this. Have you played this game? Or even the first Hollow Knight? It's, I would recommend the first Hollow Knight if you've never played this. I wouldn't start with this one. This one's a bit more of a... it demands more. Wait, where the fuck are we? We're this far? I really need to get a bench. I didn't realize how far back our other benches. God damn it. I hate this thing. I just purchased it yesterday. Oh. Did you play the first one? I hope you did. Because this, I would recommend if you... I would recommend also getting Hollow Knight and then playing that first if you haven't played it. This is probably going to ruin you if you haven't. This is a big old bitch. It's a bitch of a bitch. Where did we die? Yeah, we died up here somewhere. Okay. No, stop it. Stop it, game. Stop it, game. Damn it. I'm gonna get poisoned. Stop it. Oh no. I'm gonna die before I get my souls back. I better, please. Heal. Well, I got him at least. Yeah. It was fun, but second part looked more fun. Oh, okay, you played the first one then. Good. You'll be ready then. I mean, you're familiar at least. That'll be a little bit helpful. This game does not really have the same difficulty of that game. I'll say that much. But it'll be manageable. You'll get the hang of it if eventually, like I am. But this area, I don't know, man. This area is really brutal. Maybe I need more tools. That was good. I expect you die there. Haha. Yeah. You're gonna die in many places. But where I am now, yeah, I'm dying like crazy. I just got here. I had to get the lay of the land. Maybe I need to get an upgrade here somewhere that'll like improve my odds. I need a bench though. There's like the bench. There's no close benches in this area. They say there's a bench up there, but I don't know how the fuck you get to it. Is he sitting on the bench? Is that what it is? But I need a key to get in there. I probably have to kill enemies to get the key. No, it's pointing up. It says the key is up. It's not here. Damn it. Oh my god. Please don't hit me. Shut up. Stop it. I am also thinking to start streaming again. Oh, good. You streamed before? What did you stream before? Oh, there's a bouncing your head. Yeah. Oh, you let me in there. Yeah. Thanks for the heads up, literally. But now I can't get up there. He's gone. Fuck. Loser. What the fuck? Wait a minute. Why didn't I bounce up? That's crazy. That's crazy work, game. Why you gonna do me like that, game? Stupid ass. He didn't jump on me. Oh, I'm poisoned, so I couldn't even heal. That's crazy. That's bullshit, actually. So that poison stops you from healing. Alright. Well, we'll keep that in mind. Haha. Oh, is this how I get to that one bench? Oh, fuck all this. This is too much shit going on. Fuck, man. I'm getting out of there. I'm gonna come back. I don't know. Nowhere is good to go. I thought that up top would be better, but hell no. They're all over my ass. I stream in 2024, but sadly I got copyright strike. Oh shit. What for? For playing the game, or did you play a lot of music? Like I try to play the most uncopyrighted music ever that no one listens to. For that reason. So, and yeah, I don't have any copyright strikes, thankfully. But I do this for fun anyway. I do this to listen to as background noise when I'm at work, whenever I finish. There's not as many enemies now, but I don't know. There's that guy's, oh my god, now they come. Now they come, oh fuck! They came out of nowhere, man. That's not fair. Alright. For using music, oh yeah. Yeah, that'll do it. It didn't used to be like that on Twitch. I remember people used to play so much copyrighted music. Nothing happened. And then after that, I think it was a PewDiePie incident, everybody started copyright striking because of they feared everybody would be like a PewDiePie and say a gamer word or something. Stupid. I don't even like that description, but yeah, that's what it was. So they decided to issue a bunch of copyright strikes, which gave them an excuse to also take revenue from people. Oh my god, I forgot he's up here. I hate this. I hate these enemies. These are the worst enemies by far in this game so far. They don't fight fair at all. They're really bullshit. Some crazy work. Oh no! Get away from me! Get away from me, homie! I'm tired of these guys. Yeah, I want that. Shut up. Damn it. I wish I could get up here. It's not in the cards. Shut up, little dude. Little shit. Okay. Let's try this again, shall we? Okay, now they show up. I thought I was waiting for them. Good, they're gone. Good riddance. They got a lot of money at least. They drop a lot of money. This is now my new account. Like my last account got suspended. Oh. But thankfully I reached 100 followers. Oh man, that's a good start. So when you go back to streaming it, yeah. You'll be set for more growth. Hopefully you'll get more growth. God damn, this fucking rat. Nothing but rats in here. Rat bastards. Shit, I hate this guy. These things stick around, so they become environmental hazards. That's the one problem with this fucking weapon he has. Okay. Maybe I can get the bench from here. This might be the method. Oh, I see. This might actually be the method. What the fuck? Oh, I need to hit the switch. Yeah, I need this to heal, please. Can you heal me? Currently, I'm making VTuber for myself because I don't like to show my face. Yeah, I was gonna show my face. I need to learn about VTuber stuff though as well because I also want to do that. I'll do both because I don't like to show my face on stream, and I don't like to sit in front of the camera. Yeah, I can understand that. That's reasonable. I mean, that's why a lot of people do VTube, you know. They're shy, or sometimes they just don't want to wash up to do a stream, so they just throw on that VTube. I could resonate with that. Okay, fuck you, homie. I'm gonna get my bench. You better not fuck with me. Oh, he is gonna fuck with me though. He's a little bitch. Little shit. He's a shit bitch. Okay, I need to heal. Where's my bench? Gotta get a shortcut, hopefully. Yeah, it's down there. I see it. I see that sign. I saw the sign. 1 second. Oh, that's where we'll go next. Yeah, I'm just... Once I get a bench, I'll take more risk in this area. I need a merchant to get some good shit. Oh, I need a map. How you doing? I might as well. Yeah, I need to buy this first. I'm glad we found you, honey. Bring that bench out. Hurry up. Ain't got all night. Oh, it doesn't do it if I'm hitting it. Is this thing broke? Did I break it? Oh my god. What happened? It's broke. It's broke. No. Child wielding needles. These are stale roads ill-fitted for warriors such as ourselves. I think I broke it. Here against the road. There's fair combat here. No, that ain't no fair combat. The roach beasts do not fight fair at all. In their keepers, but the air is sickly and the water rives with parasites. Yeah, I noticed. This environment is harsh indeed, though life seems to adapt itself to many hardships. Do you believe your master traveled these roads? Oh, that's what our character's saying right now. I had thought not at first, but upon closer search I found the fragments of a trail winding through these fetid ruins. Ugh. Perhaps she saw something here that I did not. Her senses are often keen, or mine are clouded. Yeah, give me that map. That map, I need it. What is the name of the Sinner's Road? Here is the last map of my mapping stock for now. Okay, we'll come back to you whenever you got new shit. At least I know where I am. There's money up there too. I broke this. I didn't know you could break these fucking things, man. Like, can I reset this? Like, maybe if I walk out the door, it'll reset. God damn it. I'm like, it's not working. You know, I might just reset this. Really? You are so much like me. Oh, thank you. You are pretty good in this game. Well, I'm trying. I think I broke something, though. I made a mistake. I'm gonna go back and reset. I'm gonna go back to the main menu options. Wait, can I do that from... No, I might have to go back to the main menu. But then if I do that, no, I'm gonna lose where I was. Fuck. Huh. How do I even get up there? I could wall jump, but it doesn't go that high. Oh, that's how you get up there. I don't know. I have to come there some other way. Shit. This shit lasts way too long, this poison I got. Guess I fell in there too many times. Oh, it's another store, I think. What do you have to say? Gentleman? Kroll and Benjin. Okay. Interesting names, nice names. Oi, why you coming here? Old treating me mug. Treating me, all treating mug. Okay. With that nasty looking poker by your side. Eh? They sound, they got a very, Cockney accent from the spelling. That's why I am here for some spoilers. I don't want to stuck on one stage. Oh, you got to this area? Well, hopefully I'm helping. I don't know where to go, but I am making some progress. Yeah, why you coming in here? We ain't done nothing wrong. We ain't all twisted like them roach keepers. She's come to kill us, Benji. Why y'all trying to set me up? I didn't say I was coming to kill you. Shit, the blimmin' in for us, old mate. Haul. I mean, you no harm, good bugs. That's what we're saying. I cut down only those who bar my path. Yeah, you're not in my way, really. I'll buy something from you if you got something. That's so. Well, them keepers outside ain't inclined to let strangers pass by, so you'll be making good use of your poker there, Missy. Yeah, I've been making some use with the roaches outside. Why are they kept in pens? They seem a dangerous creature to cage or tame. Yeah. Us more bugs gotta eat, don't we? They're wild, fast breeders. Them muck roaches. Hard shells and tough meat. If you can even crack them open. But options ain't plentiful, so we ain't choosing. Ain't so bad to eat once you are used to it. Okay. What do you guys want from me? Tugs at your emotions, Missy. How about you put that poker to good use? Go poach some of them roaches. Get us some. Okay, this is another wish. They want to eat roaches. Ugh. There'd be fair trade waiting for you. I mean, they are bugs. I guess roaches are probably like pigs or cows to them. Yeah. I'll be using a lot of tools on these damn roaches. They're annoying. I reckon you don't know how much trouble you've promised yourself just now, Missy. What? Yeah, we do know. We've been fighting them. Oh, well, best you get to it. Muck roaches are everywhere along these old roads. Yeah, I know. Just find a few and pluck the guts out. Easy as sin. Alright. Alright, buddy. I'll help you out. I don't like you. I don't like you. And the poison just won't go away. It doesn't heal me. No. Oh man, I don't know. That's rough. Maybe it had to happen. Oh, I didn't step on the button. I thought I did. Okay. How many do I have? Not very much. Yeah, we have 0. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. We did just revive. How did I get here? Guess we'll sit here. I don't know. Yo, do you have a... Oh, never mind. I'm not going to answer that. And then there's a robot that shows up after that. Man, you guys are real slick. Okay, now I can go back. I'm going to go back now. Okay, I'm going to play more of that clip I was looking at. Yeah. I forgot where the hell I am. Yeah. Yeah, it's a wall jump. Oh, it's up here. Okay, it's over there. Okay, now I know where to go. Wait a minute, no I don't. Where are my roses? I don't even see them on the map. Oh, there's some money up there, yeah. How did I get lost so quickly? Okay, now I know where to go. I don't know how I ended up over here, though. How did I end up all the way over there? Oh, shit. These little pilgrims are so annoying. I'm trying to think. Should I put on another tool? Maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna play more of this.
Not capitalism. God forbid. And they actually. And not capital. Like me, working an honest job. People that look exactly like me, people that have the exact same class interest, they're bad people. They're the real enemies, actually. And not capital. Not capitalism. God forbid, and they fucking toil away and they get their little treats on the sideline so that, you know, for a brief moment they feel a sense of autonomy, a sense of purpose in their lives, a sense of humanity in their lives, and they just move along with their day. And change seems impossible. Change in the appropriate direction seems impossible. But as material conditions worsen, day in and day out, people get resentful, people get angry. There's one party that takes that anger, that captures that attention, that captures all of that enmity and redirects it back to targets that are vulnerable, targets that are easily dismissed, because most people don't care. Most people are too self-invested. Most people don't have time to care. Most people are too busy trying to make rent. Most people are too busy trying to afford their fucking groceries.
Yeah.
Most people are too busy with the fear that if they, God forbid, something terrible were to happen, they're gonna be saddled with medical debt. So in that process, they get more and more angry. And then when someone comes along and says, you're angry, and it's because the groceries are too expensive, right? But you know who's made the groceries too expensive? The fucking Guatemalan dude that is slaving away in 100-degree heat to make sure that you can have tomatoes. That's the reason why your groceries are expensive. And when we support that guy, instead of offering him the dignity that he deserves, that everyone deserves, but he deserves more than many others, okay, for toiling the fucking land for a goddamn decade. When we kick that guy out of this country, then groceries are somehow magically going to be less costly. It's bullshit, but people believe it. And the reason why people believe it is because there is no one out there in a position of prominence that turns around and says, how the fuck is that gonna help?
He's right, you know.
I am the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual, the inspiration that made.
This is copyrighted. Hope I can mute that. Damn it! Why did they play that at the beginning of this clip? It went to another video. I'm gonna turn autoplay off. Shit. All right. I'm gonna close that tab now. We got another tab. It says, "Oh, this is about the woman who snitched on the South Korean." A specialist who came to help build the EV plant over here well, I'm not in Georgia, but over in Georgia.
Go to bed, but
I did do basic training in Georgia, so I'm familiar.
I'm getting ready to go to bed, but I watched something so stupid.
Yeah.
Watch this video. Then we'll talk.
So there were 452 illegals apprehended at the Hyundai mega plant construction site.
No, it had a B1
near Savannah.
visa.
And
they weren't going to be like
the one that reported the information that I had to ICE. But it goes beyond just someone working illegally. Let me explain to you. These people are working for slave wages. Some are not.
You don't even know that.
Some
They're
are
specialists. They're not getting slave wages.
They send money home to their country. They give money to their handler. They have hardly anything left.
What handler? The government?
Homes, 5 families.
That's their handler.
Have no quality of life. It's modern day slavery. So if you think that ICE is just going in and ripping people out of their jobs, these hardworking people that want a better life, well, guess what? Politicians have really screwed these people, because when they came here, they thought they were, hey, the border's open, we're coming in, we're going to get the 5-star treatment, and we can go to the big Walmart, and we can live in a 5-star hotel, and that's just not how it is.
This is how like bougie. This is really how white people over here think, that a bunch of people from any foreign country think when they like that. That's why they want to come here. Yeah. Go stay at a 5-star hotel when they got the same fucking hotel in South Korea. Excuse me, had to sneeze right quick. They got the same fucking hotels in South Korea. They don't give a fuck about they got better hotels, man. When I was in South Korea, I stayed in some nice ass hotels. They nowhere on the same level as the shit hotels we got here. They have better hotels, I would say. But I wouldn't want to live in South Korea. I'd rather go to China. Fuck that country. That country is too cucked for my taste. too American, indoctrinated and occupied. Got a bunch of our military bases over there. So I wouldn't want to live there because of that. Until they get rid of that shit, and they rejoin with North Korea and they become a great country, then I don't fuck with South Korea. South Korea needs to become great again, as in communist, like they were before, where the goddamn Nazis and settler colonials came over and imperialist Japan occupied them as well. They were, they can be better.
It's very bad conditions, very inhumane.
Yeah, they want to. So she said they want to stay in our 5-star hotels, which they already have. They want to eat at our Walmarts, where they have worse food than the food that's already in South Korea, which is 10 times better. Which is one good thing I'll say about South Korea. They got better food and better food standards. Like, our shit's full of way more poison than their food. They're better off eating there. So no, they're not coming here for our food. Another strike. What else does she say?
The big Walmart, and we can
big Walmart. Like, she's so countrified, so much of a fucking hillbilly hick that she thinks the Walmart is like such a fucking Shangri-La to some foreign person who comes over here. Nah, bitch. No one's impressed with our Walmart. All right. They get better prices over there too. Like, our food is overpriced here. They got more affordable food over there. They're not coming here for that shit. That overpriced chemical processed slop.
in a 5-star hotel, and that's just not how it is. It's very bad condition.
They were here temporarily to set up the fucking plant. They weren't going to stay here on like some H-1B shit. They were on a B-1 visa.
Very inhumane, and the Biden administration started a humanitarian crisis. So y'all can't just look
the
at
Biden
it like
administration. No, this is a deal that Trump just made. There was even a televised agreement between this investment that South Korea is doing over in America. They televised it. This is something they came over because of the deal Trump made. It's not Biden anymore. Can't keep relying on that as the reason for the problems that are persisting right now. Right? He caused some problems, but we got more problems now. And Trump is in charge now, so you gotta own your boys. You know, the problems he's caused. Stop coping.
The job. They're probably saving their lives in the long run.
Stupidity is expensive.
No, they're not.
Racism is expensive.
Yeah, she's just being racist.
Stupidity will make you bankrupt. My God.
They're Korean, ergo illegal. They can never be over here for any legal reason. Be right back in 5 minutes. I need to make coffee. Oh, okay. Enjoy your coffee. Coffee over here has gotten expensive. Because we decided to tariff the hell out of Brazil. Anyway.
So in case you don't know what is going on, that woman, her name is, I don't know, Tory, I don't know.
Yeah, her name's Tory.
So she is.
She acts like a Tory from Britain.
Who has just proclaimed to have contacted ICE about
stupid
the
bitch.
Hyundai plan
No.
in which people who, South Korean citizens who came to the United States on legal visas to not only
They really want our Walmart.
but to
They want our
train
Walmart and their
US
Piggly Wigglies.
on how to create the cars.
They don't have
that
Piggly
US
Wiggly over there.
citizens
They come over here to get
on
it.
their legal visas for short periods of time.
They
She
want our
called
McDonald's,
ICE
which
on
they
that.
already have over there. Like, a lot of people don't understand how other foreign countries are and what the shit they got. They got pretty much all the shit over there already that we have. It's not like it's a backwater country or something. Let me rewind. I talked over. They want our freedoms like our Walmarts. I can't believe she said that shit. They want to come to the big Walmart. Yeah, that's why they come over, honey.
that U.S. citizens need. on how to only build up this plant, but to train state people who about the who has that woman, her name is, I don't know, Tori, I don't know. So she is a white woman who has just proclaimed to have contacted ICE about the Hyundai plant in which people who South Korean citizens who came to the United States on legal visas to not only build up this plant, but to train U.S. citizens on how to create
They're specialists.
the cars that U.S. citizens
They were going to give you jobs after training
on their
you.
legal visas for short periods of time. She called ICE on them. Not the Better Business Bureau, not OSHA.
Yeah, she should have called B&B.
Literal Nazis. Because she cares about humanitarian crises. Now let's talk about the downfall, the overflow, the outcry of this one uneducated, undereducated, woefully stupid woman. Let's talk about the consequences of her action. So this is from the Associated Press. Attorney says detained Korean Hyundai workers had special skills for short-term jobs. This was put out about 19 hours ago from when I am creating this video. Let's read a little bit, shall we? So, Savannah, Georgia, a lawyer for several workers detained at a Hyundai factory in Georgia says many of the South Koreans rounded up in the immigration raids are engineers and equipment installers.
They're not low-wage
for the
workers.
highly specialized work of
they're
getting
specialists.
an electric battery plant online. Just going to move myself over here. Atlanta immigration attorney Charles Kuck, who represents 4 of the detained South Korean nationals, told the Associated Press on
They know how to
Monday
build an EV
that many
plant.
were doing work that is authorized under the B1 business visitor
the
visa
B1
program.
visa.
They had planned to be in the United States for just a couple of weeks and never longer than 75 days, he said.
Yeah.
The vast majority of the individuals
It
that were
wasn't an
detained by
H-1B.
the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement were South Koreans who were either engineers, who were there as engineers, were involved in after-sales service and installation. Now, obviously, the South Korean government is going to have a massive issue with this. And I've heard a couple of different numbers, right? Some are saying closer to 300, some are saying closer to 475. Other pieces of press are saying it's over 5.
Not just the South Korean government, the rich folks over in South Korea who have a lot of influence over the government. Because it is a capitalist hellhole. So, like, the rich people who run Korea and also collaborate with the U.S., they have a lot of dominion over the government, which is, so it was actually like a private deal made, but it was delegated through the government because private corporations and rich families over in South Korea own the government. So they had him do the delegation for them. These rich families have the president do, the business agreements for them. They're going to be mad. They're not going to want to do business with the U.S. anymore. Even with the military occupation, there's just still shit they're not going to put up with. That among them. They're going to make more deals with China after that. Rightfully so. South Korea does not really get anything good out of America, doing anything with America or investing in America. It's pretty much a waste of their time. Like, the only reason they would have to even work with America is because America occupies their country, not because they wanna work with them. Where did I drop my fucking shit? Oh yeah, I didn't drop it yet. I just went back to the bench. I need to get to the top. Fuck all this noise. Let me in, bitch. I hate these nerds. Oh, wait a minute. Have we been over here? Oh yeah, it's that door. I can't get in there. Not yet. If ever. fighting these things. They suck. What's that? Spaz. I can't even jump up there. Can I hit that? No. Wait, that sounded that sounded wrong out of context. I didn't mean it in that way. I might have to reload a save. Wait a minute. Why does it just open? Oh, it never opened. It just lowered that down. He's a bit more manageable to fight at least. He is still annoying. Alright, I don't know. I think this might be broke. They just had me waste money for no reason. I don't know. I think we need to get an upgrade or something. Ain't no reason for that otherwise. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Fucking nerd. Oh shit. Oh, now I know where we are. Oh, okay. So I can just come in this room and get up there. I don't have to go in that other room. So I'll just come back here next time. That's what that shortcut's for. Or that lowering that was for. Why did the game lie to me? I can't even use that. Did I go that way? I gotta go this way. Shit. I need a real bench, guys. Where'd he at, though? Oh, okay. What's over here? A bench. But not a bench. Which is what I actually need. That's what I actually need, game. Alright, let's play the rest of this. Oh, I'm gonna get a snack right quick. One moment. Some chips. I wanted some chips. Because when the chips are down, you go get some chips.
People, the numbers are jumping. All we need to know is that hundreds of legal visa holders that were here to teach Americans how to do this job for cars that U.S. citizens need
That's why they were here.
are now in an ICE detention center. So
They're
South
creating
Korea
jobs for
expects
this
to bring
people here,
its
the
detainees
locals.
home. South Korea's foreign minister was flying to the U.S. on Monday to secure his citizens' return on a charter flight to South Korea, where many people have expressed confusion, shock, and a sense of betrayal. So if we're good at putting puzzle pieces together, then we can assume A, that Hyundai is created from South Korea, right? Now, here's a question,
gonna
just
die.
for the general public.
Oh my
Let's
God, it's a
say
big one.
that you live in a row of houses, right? So the person all the way at the end of the block is known for stabbing people in the neck. Now, you
Got 'em.
have a next door neighbor, super chill, you guys get along great. Great, they go to bring, I don't know, some cake over to the next door neighbor's house, and then guess what? Get stabbed in the neck. Now, thank God they survived, right? But are you probably going to go over to that neighbor's
I'm not
house
going back.
again?
No.
Probably
I'm
not.
not going
Why?
back.
Because you like your neck stabless. So when we look at
I
these
understand her
other
analogy,
car
yeah.
manufacturing companies based out of Asia, where you have Japanese giants like Toyota, Hyundai, and Nissan, South Korea with Hyundai and Kia, and Chinese brands like BYD, Geely, and Great Motor.
Yeah, I'd
What
rather
do
get a
you
BYD anyway.
think they are going to do when it comes to this particularly stabby neighbor? Do you think they're going to want to do business with a stabby neighbor?
Hell
Now,
no.
let's say that neighbor that got stabbed also had on the line
Let them racist
a
white folks
potential
fend for themselves.
$350 billion investment fund
That's what they're going to be saying.
with that particularly stabby neighbor who stabbed them. Do you think that investment fund is going to remain on the table? Would you keep that investment fund on the table? Do you think that the other people, the other neighbors on the block, are going to want to invest with a particularly stabby neighbor? And now,
Couldn't
listen,
be
the
me.
stabby neighbor was going to be stabbed.
I ain't investing in
regardless.
this.
But the fact that a white woman, with her poorly informed version of the hero complex that actually just put
She's
bunch
such a white
of
savior. That's what she
well-meaning
wanted to be.
professionals in a concentration camp.
Or that's how she's framing
opened
herself.
The door for the
I don't think she
stabby
really
neighbor
wanted to
be
help
like,
them
"Thank
people."
goodness I haven't stabbed someone in a while." Like, it's just fascinating. It's just fascinating and terrible and very concerning. And like the lack of the ongoing lack of information. Now, please don't go and send this woman any hate. Trust me, she's getting more than enough as is. And she don't listen. So it really does not matter. Do not go after her. There are much she won't listen.
Go after her?
Regardless. So
She's already
don't
getting
do it.
dunked
Don't
on.
do it. I'm saying don't do it. And the irony
I'm
of
not
it
gonna
all, she's
fuck-
out
I
here
don't care
talking
about her. She-
actually watch this video.
She's already
I love
suffered.
how y'all say, oh,
I don't
she's
need to do
doubling
anything.
down. She's reneging on what she said. Listen, I stand on business, and when I say something, I don't back down from it. This isn't a pissing contest. So for all you people from out of state harassing me 24 hours a day, coming to our state protesting about shit you don't even understand, let me break it down for you. I didn't know anything about the Korean aspect of the
You didn't know
race.
anything.
I
Yeah,
didn't realize
that's the
that
problem.
300 of the people working at the LG battery
know
site
shit.
inside of the Hyundai mega site
Decided to be nosy anyway.
were either working on expired visas or didn't have proper visas. And now they're being flown home on a cushy plane, according to the Trump administration
plane.
and to their country. And their country and the Trump administration are going to figure out what they need to do to rectify the situation. Now, as far as the other 172 who
That's not because of you that they.
some reported, including myself,
You
they
didn't get
were
them the
being
cushy
hired
plane.
by American subcontractors.
Their government did.
after they pushed the unions out, who were safe, who know how to do their jobs, and they were paying them like $7.50 an hour. They were holding out money, saying, "Well, you've got to pay this fee, or you can't stay here." Working 6 or 7 hours a day, 12 hours a day, 6 or 7
A normal work
days
day?
a week, 12 hours a day. Pardon me. And
you had to reverse it, huh?
horrible working conditions.
Make it sound worse
which
than it
there
is.
are videos of. You can actually go look at some of the Savannah news channels and Google some of the stuff on that, and you'll be able to find it.
She's
But
coping.
you guys are coming here protesting,
Sure,
saying your
honey.
neighbors, they're not your neighbors, and it's not your tax dollars that's paying for it. Okay, we don't like slave labor around here.
It's
And
not
this
tax
is what we
dollars.
voted for.
It's
And
Korean
as far
money.
as my campaign, well,
Koreans
I'm in
invested.
a hard Republican district, 22 counties, 2 partial counties. Only one of them is Democrat. So you can stop with that buzz right now. We do the right thing. This is what we voted for.
She's dumb.
I stand by that.
This is what we voted
And I
for.
stand by, we don't hire illegals and slave labor in this country. We hire Americans.
So now that you've watched this
There's
video,
no
we're gonna
fucking
wrap
slave
this up
labor,
with
dumb
this quick
bitch.
paragraph.
They
The
were
Chinese
on a
small
B1
incorporated
temporary
and
visa.
best known
They weren't
for
gonna
canoeing
stay here
on
for
the
more than
OG
2 months.
River or teeing off at Black Creek Golf Club. Last week, its best claim to fame was being chosen as the site of Hyundai's first fully electrified vehicle and battery manufacturing campus.
They're
in the United
professional
States, a project
specialists. They
that
get paid
the
more
target
money than
states
you
leader
ever have.
promised would bring 8,500 jobs and transform the rural economy. So guess what? All of that pro-American, my God, these Americans, I don't want slave labor. We should be hiring Americans. Almost 9,000 people.
I don't want slave labor, but we do need to get them darkies on them farms, because our illegals got deported. We were hoping the blacks would take over and get paid low-wage labor to do that. But they don't want to work on a plantation that we own for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, we only like ice and are racist as fuck.
And then the Lord knows how this is going to have ramifications when it comes to
Shit.
global politics.
Welcome back. How's the coffee?
Ladies, hear me.
What kind of coffee you got?
This is not funny. I'm not laughing because this is funny. I'm laughing because there is a great concern for white ladies.
I'm laughing because it's
Calm down.
funny, because it is.
Read things. Just stop calling the cops. Stop being a Karen for 5 minutes.
I know, that was the most
If you're
Karen
not
shit I've
doing
ever
that,
seen.
Then that's fantastic. But then call your aunts, call your mothers, call your grandmothers, because this is what they're doing when they're unsupervised. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta
Go get
say.
some
I'm gonna
cats,
go to bed.
lady.
Please.
Why are you
stay
fucking
safe
with a
out there.
bunch of
Don't
non-white
forget to like,
people?
share,
You got
subscribe.
nothing better to do?
Jesus.
Damn. So damn nosy. She got nothing better to do. Fucked up an entire, diplomatic business deal. Now, South Korea ain't ever gonna come back to invest
In non-Kirk
in y'all
news, there
raggedy
is
ass
still
state.
a lot going on. Let's put this up here
Or any
on
part
the
of
screen.
America.
Trump announcing that for the second time,
Okay, I'm gonna close that tab. What else we got? Coffee is in my hand. Haha, pretty hot. Is it getting cool where you are? It still feels like summertime a bit over here, although it's getting slightly cooler than usual. But, compared to other parts of the country, it feels like summer. Alright, what else we got? No, we're not going to listen to that video. I'm going to close that one. Paid programming. I'll listen to that later. Oh, this is a weird video. What's this about? Okay. It says Cranky says release the Epstein files. Okay, Cranky Kong.
Where do we even get them from? That is the problem. The United States. Donkey Kong! The price of bananas are up again.
What? The price of bananas?
Yes,
Pretty
you
cold.
stupid baboon. Looky here. I haven't seen prices like this since the Great Kong Prison.
Well, Cranky, where do we even get them from?
That is the problem. The United States keeps putting tariffs on my damn bananas.
I think you mean our bananas? But why, Cranky?
Do I gotta say it again? America is fucked, Donkey Kong.
Cranky, why don't you just
He's
import
right,
them
though.
From somewhere else.
He's right,
I don't
though.
know, because I'm too fucking lazy to be bothered to.
Yeah, well, maybe they keep putting tariffs on Congo Bongo because we keep hoarding them.
Every monkey for himself,
Stupid.
kid ass. That's how America
Stupid.
was built in the first place.
Okay, but every time you hoard bananas, they go stale.
Aren't the United States bananas magic?
No!
Oh, well maybe if someone just turned on the AC down there, then they wouldn't go stale.
How am I supposed to turn on the air conditioning to a cave when we live on a fucking island? Kitty, that's not necessary.
Okay.
Yeah, necessary.
That's
Just like how
weird.
this chimp is expecting bananas to last longer than
That's just too weird for me. I thought he was going to actually talk about the Epstein files. But nah, not. I never take interest in politics. It's useless. I mean, that's true if you're really privileged and spoiled. I disagree. Everything is politics. Your entire life is politics. You only don't care about them unless you're comfortable, and yeah, that in that case you're like rich or something. You're very well taken care of already to the point you don't have to care. But yeah, I pay attention to politics because I gotta know when I gotta move, funds, you know, much less location. Yeah, they're very important to me because especially in the location where I am, I'm gonna have to pay attention. No, I don't. I hate Discord. I don't support the bourgeois corporate parties. They're both corporate parties and they both are owned by the same corporations. They serve the same corporations. So it's like we got one party, one big corporate party that pretends to be a duopoly. I support the communist, all right? I'm a communist because that's what actually works. That's what actually serves the people. The U.S. was good back when the Soviet Union was actually around and posed a threat. That's the only reason the U.S. tried to actually, help, actually do anything for their people was because they had the Soviet Union around as a threat. So they had to look good in front of the Soviet Union, right? If you didn't know, that's why we had any prosperity for the time we did, because of the Soviet Union. The U.S. wanted to look good in front of them because they were afraid of the citizens siding with the Russians, all right? Siding with the communists and going over there. So they had to give some entitlements. They had to have good worker protection. They had to, raise wages along with the, inflation. But ever since they went away, there's been an incremental dismantling of that. So you want changes in there? I'm not a reformist because reformist is not a real way to get change when you got a bunch of corrupt people running things. They're not going to let you have any reforms. There's going to have to be a better, more direct action to make things change. Right now, I'm trying to get out of the country. Obama's the only person I love most. I mean, I guess you could say he's better than Trump, but he was also another corporate puppet, sadly. Bombed a bunch of other countries just like, Trump's bombing countries too. He raised the drone strikes, but Obama was, he was another like corporate puppet and another military industrial complex puppet. Bombed a bunch of brown and black countries. He served white colonialism, and they used him to cover for the white colonial sort of imperialism. Like, oh, he's a good face to be a front man for our white colonialism, but we won't ever try to elect another black president. He'll just be the one token we ever use. We don't ever try to proposition any other black candidate anymore, unless reluctantly, like with Kamala, who because Joe Biden was too sick to do it. Haha, who is not a puppet? Well, in American politics, I would say none of them. I mean, they're all puppets. But there are better ways and better results. You got to pay attention to better results. You can't just let the U.S. frame how things can be. They're not the optimum of how things should be done or can be done. There are better examples. Bro, your stream got issues. Keep quiet. Twitch record. I don't care what Twitch records. They can record all the fuck they want. You gonna snitch? You wanna be a snitch? Go be a snitch then. I'm gonna say the truth. This ain't the only place I'm streaming either. I'm doing multi-stream. Trying to find a thing to look at right quick or listen to in the background. Yeah, the US is like a third world country at this point. They're not really an example to like use as the optimum of how things can be. We can do things better. There's other countries doing things better. So I wouldn't say all politicians are puppets. They are in America, in much of the West, because it's, you know, a big it's a big plutocracy that doesn't really have the intent of serving the people. It just wants to leech resources. Okay, what do we got here? Kellogg. Oh yeah, I know Kellogg. Fuck that guy. Florida lost billions. Oh, I'm gonna hear about Florida because I have family in Florida, so I need to be up to date. Let's hear what happened in Florida.
Imagine standing on a Florida beach in the middle of January. The sun is shining, the palm trees are swaying, and yet entire condos sit empty. Restaurants once packed with regulars are closing early.
I'm very close to affiliation. I've been close to affiliation for 5 years. I don't really care about affiliation. I don't do this for money. I don't know if you heard me earlier, but I do these streams to have as background noise for when I'm working or working out. I'm not really trying to get a big audience or anything. I don't care. If you want to come in and watch, that's fine. And have rapport. I'll talk to you. But I'm not really doing it because I want to get money out of you. I just do it for background noise. It's a way for me to chill out after I work or working out. I just came back from the gym. So this is how I wind down after the gym. But I'm going to hear what they're saying about Florida while I get through this hard area.
And airports that used to overflow with winter traffic now echo with silence. For decades, Florida's secret weapon wasn't just theme parks or quick weekend getaways. It was something far more powerful: Canadian snowbirds. Retirees and families who didn't just visit for a week, but lived here for months, pouring billions into local businesses, hospitals, real estate, and entire communities.
Florida's gotten a bit too
They were the
expensive now.
backbone of Florida's winter economy, a lifeline during months when domestic tourism
And they're also
slowed to
deporting a
halt.
bunch of people who even want
But
to
in
visit now.
2025,
Nobody
that
wants to come to
foundation
Florida
cracked
now.
Wide open. A mix of new federal registration
any part of
rules,
America.
political rhetoric, and mounting frustration triggered an exodus that few believed possible. The very residents who once considered Florida a second home began selling their properties, canceling surgeries, and booking flights elsewhere. And the ripple effects are devastating, not just for hotels and restaurants, but for the entire ecosystem that depended on their presence. Tonight we dive into how Florida politicians underestimated their most valuable guests, how the numbers prove the collapse is real, and why destinations like Mexico and Portugal are already reaping the benefits.
They're better. I'd rather
This
go to
isn't just
Mexico
about
and
tourism.
Portugal.
It's about pride, respect, and whether Florida's golden
I was
winters
trying to go to
can
Mexico
return.
this year.
For generations, Florida's relationship
I was
with
just trying to get out
Canadian
of the country
snowbirds
completely.
was more than a seasonal fling. It was an economic partnership built on predictability, trust, and mutual benefit. Each November, waves of retirees from Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver would arrive, settling into condos from Naples to Sarasota. They stayed for 3 to 6
God.
months at a time, spending an average
This
of
guy is a thug.
$33,000 per household every winter. That wasn't tourist money meant for casinos or souvenir shops. It was steady community.
Bro, I want you to see affiliated. I don't care about affiliation. Don't worry about me. I have another job.
Weekly hired contractors to renovate kitchens and install hurricane shutters. paid
And it's
property
okay to talk
taxes
about politics
year-round
because, you know,
and
there's
scheduled
there's
elective
political
surgeries
streamers
at
on
Florida
Twitch.
hospitals
I'm not
that
going to
came
lose
depend on their presence.
affiliation just from talking
Entire
about
industries learned
politics.
to run on
I mean, we have
Snowbird time.
Hassan already
In
on
Lee
here.
County, nearly
So,
half of all
It's not
winter
really
retail
just
spending
talking
came
about
from
politics that'll
Canadian
keep you from
residents.
affiliate.
In Sarasota,
But I'm not really trying to get
60%
affiliate
of
anyway. I
elective
don't
medical
care.
procedures were scheduled around their winter stays. Airlines adjusted flight schedules to match their migration patterns, and restaurants in coastal towns
Let me follow you on
staffed up
Insta,
specifically for
bud.
their
You're an
arrival.
interesting guy.
Florida wasn't just
I
selling
think my
sunshine,
Instagram's in my
it
little
was selling a second home.
description of myself.
This system worked
I think I
because
have
it was
it linked there.
consistent. Canadian households returned year after year, building long-term relationships with doctors, realtors, even hairdressers. They integrated into communities, serving on condo boards and volunteering at local charities. Their presence gave Florida a stable winter identity, one that balanced out the volatility of domestic tourism. But the setup carried an unspoken assumption that Canadians needed Florida more
So
than Florida
Canadians
needed
were a big
Canadians.
tourist.
Politicians believed sunshine was an irresistible
Source.
commodity, and that
Yeah,
snowbirds
Canada
would
don't wanna
tolerate
come here at
almost
all
any
anymore.
inconvenience just to escape their frozen winters. That assumption, repeated over decades, lulled state leaders into complacency. And when policies shifted, when rhetoric hardened, when Canadians began to feel unwelcome, the entire system they quietly supported
We've been
was suddenly at
like
risk.
ICE has been going after even
What
Canadian
once looked
people.
like a permanent
it's-
pillar of Florida's prosperity
So even
revealed
though-
itself
even
to be
though,
far more fragile than anyone imagined.
like tourist white
Through the late
people are getting fucked
1990s
with.
and
It's,
into the
ICE is just
2010s,
fucking everything
Florida
up.
entered what many locals now remember as the golden era of Canadian snowbirds. Every November, a migration began from Toronto, Montreal, and countless smaller towns across Canada. By the time December rolled around, entire stretches of Florida's Gulf Coast had been transformed.
And then we got our
Condos
president talking
lit up
about,
golf
oh, maybe
courses
we should
filled with
annex
familiar accents,
Canada.
and
That's really
neighborhood
not gonna.
diners greeted customers
That's really
who
not
had
gonna
become
make
as reliable as
Canadians
the
want to come here
sunrise.
to tour as a
Airlines
tourist.
tailored entire schedules to this wave, adding seasonal routes that funneled thousands of retirees straight into Tampa, Fort Myers, and Miami. Real estate boomed on the back of their investments. Developers openly marketed beachfront properties in Canadian newspapers,
Shit!
promising not just a winter escape,
Okay.
but a chance to belong to a
gonna
community
die.
built for them. Hospitals and clinics expanded elective surgery programs, knowing that Canadians preferred Florida for procedures they might wait months to receive at home. Restaurants and retail
Months?
shops relied on their spending,
That's-
confident that each season
We don't
would
got
bring back
like
the
a
same
bunch of
loyal
fast
patrons.
medical service
It
anymore.
wasn't just about money.
if ever.
Snowbirds joined condo boards, donated to
They came to the U.S. to get fast medical service and procedure. Yeah, right. I'm calling cap on that. Like we don't have better medical service or quicker medical service. It's more expensive, and being more expensive does not get us faster service. That's for damn sure. If only it did. Maybe we can, that at least would be a good trade-off, but it doesn't. We gotta wait months, if not weeks. I mean, weeks, if not months, to get even seen, much less some procedure done. Like we don't we rank dead last in healthcare service. I don't know why anybody would come here for healthcare. I don't know if you're in America, but yeah, I wouldn't come here for our healthcare if you thought it was great. I sent your friend request on IG. Okay, thank you, Edith. We gotta go this way. I went backwards. Why did I go this way? My souls are over here. This little roach is gonna kill me. Damn it! I lost all those souls. Fuck. Fuck. I had so many too. I had so many of those. You have anything new to say? No, nothing new. Okay. Man.
local charities and formed friendships that lasted decades. Their presence gave Florida something invaluable stability during months when domestic tourism slowed. For the state, it was a perfect balance summer crowds from Americans, winter security from Canadians. The system looked permanent, unshakable, as if the partnership was written into the sand itself. Nobody at the time imagined it could collapse. By the early 2020s, the flawless rhythm between Florida and its Canadian lifeline began to falter. At first, the cracks were subtle, almost invisible to those who had
I
grown
didn't know
accustomed
Canada
to the
was
yearly
such a
migration.
big source of the tourism.
The pandemic disrupted travel in ways no one anticipated. Border closures and testing requirements left many Canadians stuck at home, forced to endure harsh winters without their Florida refuge. In that unexpected pause, some discovered
They
alternatives.
should just go to California.
Mexico, Portugal, and Caribbean islands welcomed them without hesitation, offering
Or
sunshine
Mexico.
and simplified entry rules when Florida was locked behind restrictions. For the first time in decades, snowbirds realized they had options. At the same time, Florida itself was changing. Property insurance costs climbed to historic highs as hurricanes battered the state, leaving retirees facing premiums that doubled or tripled overnight. Condo fees rose steeply as
I am also
associations
hearing it
scrambled
for the
to cover
first time
maintenance
about
and repair
Canada.
costs. Everyday expenses
Yeah.
from groceries to restaurant meals no longer felt like bargains compared to back home.
They were a big
What
source of
once
income.
made Florida irresistible
And we pissed them
now
off.
carried a creeping sense of financial strain. And beneath those costs was a growing unease with Florida's political climate. Heated debates over foreign property ownership, immigration rhetoric, and culture war headlines began to filter north. Canadian newspapers questioned whether Florida was still the welcoming second home it had always claimed to be. Yet loyalty held firm. Most snowbirds still returned convinced that the benefits outweighed the irritations. They still filled condos, clinics, and golf courses, keeping alive the illusion of permanence. But those early warning signs, the costs, the alternatives, the uneasy headlines were seeds planted in fertile ground. It would take only one decisive policy change to turn them into a full-blown crisis. The breaking point arrived in 2025, and
The
it came
tariffs,
wrapped
yeah.
not in a storm or a market crash, but in paperwork.
In
A new federal rule
deportations.
required any foreign visitor staying in the United States longer than 30 days to register with immigration authorities. On paper, it sounded routine, just another layer of documentation in a world filled with forms. But to Canadian snowbirds, it struck at the very heart of their decades-long relationship with Florida. For years, they had seen themselves not as tourists, but as part-time residents who
Neighbors,
invested in homes,
practically.
paid taxes, and contributed to local life. Now suddenly, they were treated like outsiders who needed official clearance simply to keep living the routine they had built for decades. Even though Canadians were technically exempt from fingerprinting and biometric scans, the symbolism was unmistakable. After 30 winters of loyalty, they were being asked to prove they weren't a threat. For retirees in their 70s and 80s, the process was more than an inconvenience, it was humiliating. It meant long drives to government offices, weeks of processing delays,
Yeah, by
and
the time they're
unsettling
done,
sense
their
of being
vacation time's
scrutinized
up.
by a system that had once welcomed them with open arms. At the same time, Florida's own political rhetoric blurred the issue. Local leaders celebrated America First policies, reinforcing the perception that foreign residents were no longer wanted. To snowbirds, the distinction between federal regulation and state politics didn't matter. All they saw was a clear message their money was welcome, but their presence was not. That feeling of rejection after decades of loyalty transformed private frustration into public decisions. Canadians began to sell, to cancel, to book flights to anywhere but Florida. The paper rule had triggered a very real collapse.
Anywhere but Florida,
The retreat
anywhere
didn't
but
happen with
America, I
fanfare,
would think.
but with a steady
It's
drumbeat
not like
of
it's better here in
departures that grew
Texas.
impossible to ignore. At
It's not
first,
like
it
you
was
can
a few
trade
cancelled
Florida for
bookings here and
Texas.
there,
'Cause Texas
families
also sucks.
deciding to skip
I guess
one
California
winter,
would be okay
or
with it.
retirees selling their condos after decades of ownership.
It's
But
bigger
soon,
anyway
the
and more
pattern
stuff to
became
do.
undeniable.
This is
Real
insane to
estate
hear about
listings
it.
surged as
Never
Canadian
focus
owners
on that,
unloaded
especially
properties,
I never
often at
listen to
steep
news like
losses
that.
just to walk away.
This is just some YouTube channel.
Clinics
It's not
that
really a
once
news
relied on
channel.
Canadian patients watched appointment schedules collapse.
Yeah, it's just a channel dedicated to like different cities of America. There's one that's also about Las Vegas. Let me see if I can find the one about Las Vegas. I heard it's pretty wild. It's like a ghost town now.
Okay, so here's a fun fact that
Canada
has just. I'm not thrilled about it.
What is this?
I don't have.
Oh, the Arab League, yeah.
Charlie Kirk is not.
I'll listen to that later. Yeah, Las Vegas. Oh, this is about the homeless in Las Vegas. I'll listen to it. I've been homeless before.
41.7 million people flock to Vegas each year to chase the dream of a big win. But perhaps few
Not
of them
anymore.
know that true victory in this city doesn't happen in the casinos, but rather simply surviving another day on the street pavement.
Bro,
Vegas has
Texas
long
is
been
my state.
portrayed
Oh,
as
really?
the city that never sleeps,
Welcome,
where
neighbor.
dazzling neon lights
I'm in
and
Texas,
red
too.
and black betting tables promise instant riches. However, while tourists line up at luxurious
Although I won't
buffets
be here long.
or throw hundreds of dollars into slot
Trying to
machines
leave.
just a few blocks away, thousands of people are struggling to find a meal in the trash,
But
a
small
temporary place
world.
to sleep on the streets or in underground sewers in the desert heat. Why does a city that can spend billions of dollars on entertainment still have a humanitarian crisis that many people want to hide? And what is the real gamble in Vegas? The dream of wealth or the fight for survival? In today's video, we'll delve into that dark side. From shocking statistics about the number of homeless people doubling overnight, to eyewitness accounts revealing the nightmares the city doesn't want anyone to see. This will not only be a wake-up call for Las Vegas, but also a mirror reflecting the painful truth of America in 2025. If you visit Las Vegas in 2025, you'll quickly realize bets in this city are no longer just made at roulette tables or in neon-lit casinos.
Just living there is
The
a
biggest
fucking gamble.
now lies on the scorching sidewalks under patched-up tents
Yeah.
where people bet every day
Being-
to survive.
Yeah, exactly.
Every
Being homeless there is
street,
crazy work.
Every tunnel that was once the
I wouldn't wanna be
backstage
homeless
hiding the
there.
dark side of Vegas has now taken root
Like
right
that-
in the glamorous
Vegas is
center,
basically a desert.
transforming
You don't
the
want to be
symbol
homeless
of
in
the
a desert.
American dream of prosperity into an unbelievable contrast. Perhaps no one could have predicted that the absence of Canadian European tourist groups or snowbirds escaping the winter would trigger a devastating domino effect.
This is a different channel, but they're using the same
the
terms.
tourism industry
Like
and casinos.
snowbirds. I think that's a general
And when that machine
traveling
falters,
term.
the people who once brought life to Las Vegas, busboys, bellhops, security guards, hallway cleaners, are also swept away. Let's try to piece things together. As tourists fled, the tourism industry, the lifeblood of Las Vegas, immediately faltered. And as that blood vessel weakened, casinos, which once generated over 27% of the city's jobs, slowed down, resulting in thousands of people losing their jobs and sliding from a warm home onto the streets. It's not hard to spot rows of tents made from scraps of fabric and wooden pallets stretching right along the strip, the most luxurious heart of America. In the scorching 115 degrees Fahrenheit heat, hundreds of people huddled together, surviving just a few steps away from million-dollar betting tables.
Ooh.
A truly different Vegas. While many American cities are trying to reduce homelessness, this entertainment capital is seeing the number double, as if challenging all other national trends.
Too expensive to live there, so a
According
lot
to
of
the
people who are
Southern
local
Nevada Homeless
are going
Continuum
homeless
of Care,
there.
nearly 8,000 homeless individuals were recorded in Clark County in early 2025 alone. And the actual number could be much higher if you include those living in broken down vehicles, culverts, or under overpasses. The homeless are no longer confined to the stereotypes of being lazy or social outcasts.
That are working.
as
It's just too
society often perceives them.
Everything's just too expensive.
They weren't just strangers who drifted to Vegas, but rather the pieces that once made up the city's wheel of fortune.
Yeah.
A single mother
Yeah, they're
cleaning
locals.
hotel rooms, a shuttle bus driver taking guests from the airport, or a veteran who once believed the country wouldn't abandon them. In the city, there are as many as 150,000 hotel rooms. Yet thousands of people cannot find a safe place to rest their heads. What's scary is that homelessness is no longer contained in the downtown area. It has spread across the entire Las Vegas Strip, with a 56% increase in just 3 years, to the point where even tourism officials admit it is difficult to control. And this downward spiral hasn't stopped, just like a snowball rolling down a mountain. The more people lose their homes, the fewer tourists want to come, the weaker the economy becomes, and ultimately, the more people are pushed onto the streets. It's not just a cycle of crisis.
Like, a lot of people don't have a lot of money to go on vacation here,
once considered immortal.
much less gambling here.
If Las Vegas can build thousands of luxurious hotel rooms to accommodate guests, why can't it find safe shelter for the very people who once served the city's tourism industry? Is the image of the city that never sleeps still something to be proud of, when the brightest neon lights most clearly reflect the homeless people right on the sidewalks of the Strip?
They're sleeping, yeah.
Perhaps you are also gradually realizing a harsh reality. Living in Las Vegas in 2025 is not only more difficult than ever, but for many, it is almost impossible. Prices are soaring. The cost of living is increasing daily, while tourism tricks could make visitors turn away. However, there are still people who have a choice. For the residents here, they have no choice but to stay put. Even the life each day is like a nightmarish vortex. Can you believe it? Of the nearly 8,000 people wandering the streets of Las Vegas, as many as 1/5 still have stable jobs. Yet paradoxically, they are still homeless. They receive a monthly salary and work just like everyone else, but they still can't find a place to call home.
They don't get a living wage.
The reason is simple. Rental prices have skyrocketed beyond reach, while the supply of affordable housing for low-income earners has almost disappeared. Nevada, with Las Vegas as its epicenter, is facing one of the most severe affordable housing crises in the United States. Perhaps the city's splendor is becoming a privilege reserved for the wealthy, with only 18 affordable homes for every 100 low-income families, the lowest rate nationwide. A vast void, enough to make the dream of a safe home a luxury for thousands who once called Las Vegas home. That pressure becomes even more suffocating as the cost of rent and living expenses continues to escalate out of control. The average household income here is only about $50,000 per year, while the average home price has soared to $364,000, nearly 7 times the annual income, far exceeding the financial safety threshold of only 3 to 4 times that is recommended.
I might just come back to
And as
this
the
area.
gap between income and expenses widens, ordinary workers become the first victims. Their salaries have stagnated, increasingly left behind by the whirlwind of rising prices. Those working in the service, hospitality, and construction industries, the driving force behind the city's tourism, only receive between $7.25 and $17.50 per hour. With that salary, they have to struggle to make ends meet every day, and many who can't resist are ultimately drawn into the cycle of homelessness. A 55-year-old female hotel worker on the Strip shared bitterly, "I work 9 hours a day, 6 days a week, for about $8 an hour.
Wow.
At this age, without a degree,
In
this is
Vegas?
the only job that will still accept me.
How do you?
I
You
take
can't
home
live
about
with that
$800 a
amount.
month.
No wonder you're homeless.
Try to guess. With that amount of money,
That's
where
so
else
damn
could I
low.
sleep beside on the streets every night? Amidst a city boasting over
Maybe if you were in,
150,000 luxurious hotel rooms,
Oklahoma, you could live
the
like
bitter
that.
irony is that the very
Barely,
people serving there
but
cannot find a place to
not
rest
in
their
Vegas.
heads. That is the most glaring dark side of the City of Lights, Las Vegas, where the dazzling neon lights cannot obscure the darkness that
I
is
thought that was
falling
Paris as the City
upon
of
thousands
Lights.
of people. How can a city call itself a paradise of light when thousands of the very people who serve in those magnificent
It is pretty
hotel
neon
towers
there.
are forced to sleep on the streets right at their base? And if a lifetime of hard work isn't enough to own a home, what does the American dream in Las Vegas mean for future generations? If you walk along the Strip on any given evening, you'll see thousands of tourists jostling in the bright lights, laughing and talking at roulette tables where every coin that falls carries the hope of changing lives. But just turn the corner onto a less brightly lit street, and the scene immediately changes. Long lines of people queuing in front of a charity rice distribution point. No one knows for sure if they have enough portions for everyone, but it's clear that in Las Vegas today, a hot meal has become a more valuable reward than $1 million bet. The city, once hailed as an entertainment paradise, has now become a symbol of agonizing questions. How much does a meal cost? And how much is a life worth?
To make a cool
A lavish
VTuber for your
buffet
channel.
might be a
No,
small
you're not.
expense for a bet,
thanks,
but for the
no
homeless,
thanks.
it's a whole week of
I
survival.
know you want to just come in here to sell
No
me
statistics
things.
can fully reflect
I'm not
the
like
plight
some
of those living
starving
on the margins of
content
society.
creator though.
But numerous local reports
You'd be better to
indicate
try
that
with some
thousands
other-
of homeless people in Clark
some
County
other, channel.
regularly rely on
There's a
soup
bunch of other
kitchens
small
for
channels.
survival. Meanwhile, the tourism and casino industries
might wanna-
continue to promote massive revenue figures amounting to billions of dollars annually. This disparity is not just about the gap between rich and poor, but also about the gap in human dignity. Who gets to eat their fill, and who only hopes for a single meal? Another equally harsh issue is that low wages in the service sector make it difficult for even those who still have jobs to survive. Many workers report that even though they work full shifts, their salaries are still not enough to cover rent and living expenses. Many families find themselves working while also relying on food assistance, an unbelievable paradox in a city known for its lavish spending. In that context, some major brands and non-profit
All right.
organizations have begun
I'm
to
tired
speak
of
out.
people trying to sell me things.
Solutions
Sorry,
such as partnering
but,
with major hotel chains to
I don't want to
sponsor free
encourage that
meals,
type of behavior.
expanding low-cost food programs,
You might have
or
already
developing
came in
social
before on
housing
another
funds are
account.
being proposed.
Because you sound very
Although
familiar.
it hasn't ended
I had
the
to get rid of you.
crisis, these are necessary steps
Yeah, I
to
don't
rebalance
try to
the
advertise
value
to me.
equation of this city. If a meal can save a life and a bet
Might be
is
a
just to
robot
buy
anyway,
a
though.
few minutes of excitement, then what should Las Vegas be proud of?
I'm never going to buy anything anyone
There are
is trying to
wounds
sell
that
me.
cannot be seen with the naked eye. They're not on the skin,
I'm interested
but
in
hidden
any-
deep within the mind, where
any
the darkness
product,
of Las
I'm
Vegas
just
is
gonna
more
ask-
starkly revealed than any neon
I'm
sign.
going to go to, you know,
Amidst a
somebody's,
city painted as a destination for life-changing dreams, a heartbreaking
somebody's
paradox
page that I've been
exists.
looking at.
Thousands of
does that
people wander the streets,
specifically.
not only
I'm not
struggling
gonna
to survive each
do it
day,
through a
but
chat.
also carrying psychological scars that have never
Somebody I
healed.
don't even know.
Let's try to imagine a night on the Strip. On one side, tourists threw stacks of money into slot machines, laughing under the bright lights. Across the street, a homeless man sat motionless, his eyes blankly staring into space. It wasn't because he was hungry, but because his mind had fallen into an inescapable spiral. This story is not uncommon. Many reports indicate that the rate of mental disorders within the homeless community is many times higher than in the general population. But what few people talk about is that this crisis didn't just stem from innate factors, but also from prolonged instability, job losses,
Yeah.
homelessness, and a loss of faith. More concern.
Going by some weird practices around here, there are like some shady people who are literally trying to force drugs onto homeless people and poison them. They're like putting some weird lace shit and giving it some weird lace shit into some drugs and giving it to homeless people. So a lot of those crazy homeless you see, that's not like something that's something they intended or is the fault of the homeless person who's acting like that. There are actual active agents out here trying to fuck up the homeless. That's why you'll see some shit like that. It's not something organic or something self-inflicted. Let me play the rest of this.
Concerningly, many people turn to unhealthy habits to temporarily forget reality. But instead of liberation, they fell into a tiring cycle. Their health declined, they gradually lost their jobs, their
you lose a lot of
families
energy
broke up,
in Vegas.
and they
It's a
ultimately
fucking
lost
desert.
themselves. Those images not only evoke sympathy, but also inadvertently make society wary, pushing them further away from the community's embrace. Meanwhile, the mental health support system in Nevada still has many gaps. Limited resources, complex procedures, and social prejudice often leave those in need behind. As a result, these invisible wounds continue to spread, transforming Las Vegas into a picture filled with dark patches that the dazzling lights cannot erase. Some non-profit organizations and major brands in the healthcare industry, such as Kaiser Permanente, have launched mental health programs for vulnerable
I wouldn't
communities.
trust Kaiser Permanente.
Those efforts,
Permanente.
though only initial steps, offer hope that at least some hands will reach out to
I would
help
expect
some
that
people
they're
regain
like
their
the type of
balance and
people I'm
dignity.
talking about who poison
If
homeless.
emotional wounds are never healed, will Las Vegas still be the city of dreams, or will it become a place where even the human soul is abandoned in the desert? Perhaps the most familiar image in Vegas in
it is a
2025 is that of specialized trucks and city workers scattered throughout the streets every day. Within minutes, a series of tents were dismantled, personal belongings were thrown into garbage trucks, and the people who once called that place home suddenly stood exposed in the street.
Yeah, this
These
charm
scenes
is
are
not
no
worth
longer
it
rare
right
in
now.
Las Vegas. They happen so quickly that in just one morning, an entire part of a person's memory and life can be wiped away. Authorities often call this a cleanup enforcement to maintain aesthetics and order. But for those living in those tents, that experience is nothing short of a deprivation. Many witnesses have recounted that they lost all their personal documents, medication, and clothing. Everything that helped them cling to a semblance of stability. When those things are lost, finding a job, applying for benefits, or even getting into a shelter becomes nearly impossible. What's noteworthy is that these
never fuck with
cleanup
shelters, though.
campaigns often happen suddenly, without
Not
clear
trustworthy.
announcements. Some human rights organizations argue that instead of addressing the root of the problem, they simply push the homeless out of sight.
They
of
treat
tourists
symptoms, but
and
don't
residents
actually cure
to
anything.
keep the city shining under the neon lights. This is a vicious cycle. The homeless are forced to move. They set up their tents elsewhere, and then they are taken down again. These images create an unforgettable contrast. While billions of dollars continue to pour into tourism and casino projects, at the same time, there are people who lose everything in an instant. A lavish breakfast at a 5-star hotel can last for hours, but someone's life can be wiped out in just a few minutes. This is the stark reality that many people want to hide, as it shakes the image of a glamorous and immortal Las Vegas. In response to criticism, some major brands in the
I never wanted to
hospitality
go to Las
industry
Vegas. I'm
have
not
begun
really a fan of
partnering with
gambling.
charities to find solutions. Cooperative programs aimed at providing safe personal lockers for the homeless, or supporting temporary shelters instead of simply cleaning up, are being mentioned as a new step. Non-profit organizations partnering with MGM Resorts or Caesars Entertainment could play a significant role in changing how the city approaches this issue. If a city can spend millions of dollars on a fireworks display that lasts only a few minutes, why choose to wipe out human lives in the same amount of time?
They don't care about humans.
And does enforcement truly bring
That's why a
order?
lot of homeless.
Or does it simply
that's why there are a
hide
lot
a
of
truth
homeless.
that Las Vegas doesn't
There are
want
funds
tourists
that
to see?
get, fix the homeless problem.
Las Vegas is always
People running
promoted
things
as a
don't
place where
like.
you can win
They don't
big
want to do that
after
shit. They
just
don't
one
want to serve
bet.
people.
But if you step away from the dazzling neon lights and walk along the quiet streets, you'll realize a paradox. In this city, the biggest
This is
gamble
why more people
isn't
need to be
happening
class conscious. They don't get this. They keep asking the same questions that have been asked for decades. Why don't they? Why can't they have enough funds to fix the homeless problem? Because they don't want to fix it. That's something you got to understand. Your leaders don't want to fix that problem. They want to, at best, purge homeless people, not fix what's causing homelessness. They'd sooner just kill off a bunch of homeless instead of help them. there's a class issue going on, right? That is the reason for so many homeless. There is class warfare going on. It's being waged by the wealthy corporations and billionaires. They see the underclass as a threat to their authorities and their desires. They fear the concept of the underclass being able to collectively vote against their interests. You know, hypothetically speaking. But yeah, that's the real reason they don't want to help the underclass, because if they have enough funds and they can thrive better and they don't have to worry about working so much and surviving so much, they can have time to get together to collectivize and go against the interests of the billionaires and the corporations. So trying to help them economically is not in the cards. They would never do that because of that reason. They see that as basically supporting their enemy. These disgusting underclass, these peasants, these proles, will go against our interests if they're allowed to prosper. We got to keep them suffering. They got to suffer. They're not going to be good enough slaves if they don't suffer. That's what we want. We want slaves. Or I mean, our leaders do. I don't identify with them. That's what they want. Sadly, you got too many people who try to identify with, their slave masters. It's folly. Your slave master will never love you. Don't stop. A lot of people just need to stop trying to be a pick-me. For these wealthy people. Right, this isn't me just making this up either. This is in their books. I fear the underclass getting in the way of their extraction of capital and resources if they were allowed to have more influence and control over their lives. They're going to go against the billionaires and the corporations. Their corporations. You know what, let me play more of this.
In the casinos, but in the daily struggle for survival itself. While tourists throw away thousands of dollars seeking thrills, thousands of Las Vegas residents are forced to gamble for every meal and every night's sleep just to retain a shred of their last dignity. In that contrasting picture, who is the real loser? Some people believe they are tourists who lost everything after just a few hands of cards. But in reality, the biggest losers are the residents who are losing their homes, jobs, and even their place in society.
Yeah, those homeless people are locals.
The sudden
They're not
increase
some
in the
tourists
homeless population,
just
reported to have doubled overnight
got so
according to
addicted
local
to gambling
reports,
that they
is not just a cold
became
statistic,
homeless.
but a reminder that the American dream in
On their
Vegas
little trip.
is shaking to its core. Contrasting images appear everywhere. Right outside a five-star hotel, you can see a long line of makeshift tents.
Yeah.
On one side was dazzling light, lively music, and cocktails costing hundreds of dollars. On the other side was silence, the smell of dampness, and hopeless eyes. This is not just a division between rich and poor, but also a division in life opportunities. Las Vegas once prided itself on its ability to bounce back after crises. But this time, the homelessness crisis exposed a truth. Not everyone has the opportunity to start over. When rent exceeds income, when service wages can't keep up with the cost of living, many people have nothing left to put on the table except their own lives. Sociologists believe that if Las Vegas continues to rely on the tourism and casino industry without investing in affordable housing and community support,
they need to do that.
Crisis will deepen. A city cannot
Too
survive
bad the
long
leaders
if its
don't care.
economy only serves tourists while its own
And the
residents are
landlords don't
increasingly
care.
marginalized. Some non-profit organizations have begun partnering with major brands like MGM
And BlackRock
Resorts
does not care.
to provide temporary shelter and vocational training programs for those affected. These efforts, though still limited, offer a glimmer of hope that Las Vegas can find a way to balance maintaining its image as a tourist city with ensuring vulnerable residents are not left behind. If a city can spend millions of dollars on fireworks in a single night, then why can't it protect the people who are risking everything to survive
Because
every
it doesn't
day?
want to. It doesn't want to.
And in this harsh game, who is the real loser? The tourist who loses money, or the resident who loses their entire life? If Las Vegas was once called America's entertainment paradise, that image is now fading under the shadow of an undeniable reality. Right on the neon-lit streets, makeshift tent cities sprang up, stretching like a scar across the city's heart. And that harsh paradox raises the question, will the future of Las Vegas remain bright, or is it entering an unprecedented dark age? One summer evening, as tourists flocked to casinos to try their luck, just a few blocks away, hundreds of people huddled together, seeking shelter from the desert heat, which still soared to 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yep.
That contrast is no longer rare moments, but has become a constant
That's just
image.
Texas weather.
Some local reports indicate that the number of homeless
Cold
people in
Texas
Las
weather.
Vegas doubled overnight. If this number continues to escalate, the prospect of the city gradually losing its appeal to international tourists is unavoidable. That dark future doesn't just stem from the homelessness crisis, but also from a chain of consequences. When tourists hesitate, the service industry, the lifeblood of Las Vegas, will falter.
Right.
A study once showed that over a quarter of the city's jobs are directly related to casinos and hotels.
Yeah.
If this human supply chain collapses, the weakness will spread to every corner, from restaurants and bars to taxis and
It's already a
transportation
ghost town. This
services.
video came out like a day
What's
ago.
more concerning is
It's
that
already-
Las
you
Vegas
can already
is
see
gradually
the
losing
slump
its
in
ability
Las
to
Vegas.
reinvent itself. Other American cities, from New York to Miami, have all launched strong campaigns to reduce homelessness. Meanwhile,
New
Vegas
York?
is seeing the
I
opposite
don't trust
trend,
New York.
a trend that local managers themselves admit
On that effort.
is difficult to control. Some analysts warn that if things don't change, Las Vegas could enter a vicious cycle. The more people lose their homes, the worse the city looks to tourists. And the fewer tourists, the more jobs disappear, pushing more residents onto the streets. In that context, many non-profit organizations are calling for collaboration from the private sector. Some major brands in the hospitality
I don't
industry,
understand this
such
area.
as Caesars Entertainment, have been mentioned as potential partners in building a temporary housing support fund, expanding vocational training programs, and providing mental health services. That solution, if implemented correctly, could help Las Vegas regain some trust, both from tourists and from the very residents who are being left behind. If a city can spend millions of dollars on fireworks displays that only last a few minutes, then why are thousands of its residents left homeless? And if the entertainment paradise is gradually turning into a real-life nightmare, can Las Vegas still retain the title that has become synonymous with America? Las Vegas was once a symbol of the American dream, a place where the lights never went out and the bets brought a sense of immortality. However, when the number of homeless people doubled overnight, the question raised wasn't just about economics or tourism, but also about the core values of a society. Can a city continue to call itself a recreational paradise if even its own residents can't find a safe place to live? If Las Vegas can spend millions on lights and fireworks, why are thousands of people still forced to sleep on the sidewalks? And for future generations, will the American dream still be a source of pride?
No.
Or will it only remain as a brilliant mirage in the desert? If you think these
Yeah,
are
it's gonna be a
stories that
mirage
need to
like
be
it always
heard
was.
more, please leave your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to explore the hidden truths behind the glamorous lights of America together. The content in this video is based on publicly available information, reports, and accounts gathered from various sources. Some details are presented in a summarized form, cannot be absolutely verified, and are intended only for informational purposes and to stimulate social reflection. The video does not intend to draw a final conclusion or assign blame to any individual, organization, or government. All opinions expressed are for reference only. Viewers should do their own research before forming their own judgments. This is not a scene from a post-apocalyptic movie. This is Los Angeles 2025. In just a few weeks, videos capturing the chaos on the streets have spread across
This
social
isn't a
media.
post-apocalyptic movie. This is Vegas.
No longer the glittering Hollywood boulevards, but a dark corner full of ashes, where people are pushed out of their homes and sleep haphazardly in the middle of the street. Poverty, instability, and despair are gradually replacing what was once called the California Dream. The city that was once a symbol of wealth, opportunity, and freedom is now becoming a living testament to a crisis more terrifying than any movie ever written. How could one of the wealthiest and most famous cities in the world end up in such a state? In today's video, let's bravely step into the dark corners of paradise, where there are no movie scripts, no leading actors, only real people, living, struggling, and gradually being forgotten in the heart of a city that was once a symbol of the American dream. There is a truth that you don't need to go far to see the crisis. Just drive slowly through a street in Skid Row. You will see the American dream lying abandoned in the middle of the road, covered with a tattered blanket, resting its head on a backpack filled with certificates,
But they got a
documents,
Skid Row too? I
mementos,
thought it was just California.
and even the hopes of a seemingly stable life. Los Angeles is no longer a paradise of light. It has become the stage of a dark play, where the characters live in helplessness, hunger, and neglect. And no one sits in the audience anymore to care. In just 3 years, the number of homeless people in Los Angeles has surpassed 75,000, an increase of nearly 40% in less than 5 years. But behind that number, what is there? As someone who has lost a job due to a workplace accident, a single mother was evicted from her home because the landlord raised the rent by an additional $200. An elderly person cannot pay the hospital bill because the insurance refuses to cover the prescription. Just one small incident, enough to blow away a life that was temporarily called normal. From the other side, the residents who still have homes to return to cannot hide their worry. They see tents springing up around their neighborhood, see children living precariously in the parking lot. They didn't just feel pity, they also felt fear. Because somewhere in their subconscious, they know that the line between stability under one roof and drifting on the streets has never been so fragile. Even more concerning, the recent wave of immigration, those fleeing poverty and collapse in their homeland, are now stuck right in the heart of America. No papers, no shelter, no support. They became invisible people in a city that was already overwhelmed. Conflicts began to emerge, from bus stations, temporary shelters, to right in the heart of the city. The riots are not the cause of the crisis, but they make everything spiral out of control faster. The authorities are almost powerless. The police have been withdrawn from many areas due to a lack of budget, with personnel stretched thin like a taut string. The charitable organizations are overwhelmed and exhausted. Those who once hoped to find a better life in LA now have to crowd under bridges amidst trash, urine, and despair. The city that once represented the American dream is now becoming a battleground for the abandoned lives. A place where the dream is not only fading, but being trampled every day by harsh reality. Under the golden dust of the California sunset, is there anyone left who believes that the American dream still survives among the makeshift tents and desperate eyes? How can we piece together the fragments of hope if all those fragments are left with despair? right in the heart of Los Angeles, the city of dazzling Hollywood lights and penthouses overlooking the sea. There are people living on the brink of oblivion. They sleep on the sidewalks, beneath the dazzling billboards of Louis Vuitton and Apple Vision Pro. A glittering world they can see every day, but have never truly touched. They no longer belong to this place, yet they haven't completely disappeared either. They exist in between two opposing worlds and belong nowhere. It's not uncommon to see someone wearing a shirt going to work during the day, but at night, they return to a broken down RV or curl up in a makeshift tent on the street corner. They go to work like everyone else, pay taxes like everyone else. But just because they can't afford the skyrocketing rent, they find themselves in a situation of working but still homeless. An increasingly common paradox in the Hollywood of America. Mona is one of them. She once had a master's degree in mathematics and engineering. A remote job with an income of $25 per hour. Hardly anyone would think that she would have to apply for a spot at a public shower station. But then the Thomas fire swept through, burning down her house. In one night, hundreds of people became homeless, and Mona not only lost her home, but was also on the verge of losing her job. No place to stay, no phone, no internet. She stepped out of the system, and there was no door to go back. She has tried to get back on her feet. But just imagine, no place to wash up, to iron your clothes, to print a clean resume. Even with skills and qualifications, you will still be rejected. The only thing Mona wishes for is to return to a home, a place where she can bathe, do laundry, and brush her hair. What most of us consider normal has become her greatest dream. We are talking about a generation that once believed in the American dream.
No one thinks
Now
having a
having to
home
live
is
in
normal
cars,
now.
in tents,
It's
in
expensive as
containers
fuck.
converted into shelters. The grey hair, the hands that once held the steering wheel of a truck, that once pushed shopping carts at Walmart, now have to sift through scraps of hope for life in the dumpster. They no longer have a place in this system, and even more frightening, the system seems to have no place for them to return to. In a city overflowing with luxury and opportunity, could it be that we are deliberately ignoring those right beneath our feet, those who were once us? And if things continue like this, who among us will be the next to get stuck between two worlds? $1.3 billion. That is the amount of money that the city of Los Angeles has poured into the fight against the homelessness crisis, especially to build temporary shelters, the shelters expected to be the final refuge for those with nowhere else to go. But paradoxically, for many people, those very shelters become traps that strip away both their survival and their last remnants of dignity. Why would a shelter make people prefer to sleep on the sidewalk rather than step inside? Don't take your eyes off the video, because what you're about to hear might change your perspective on the concept of home forever. In Los Angeles, no one thinks a rooftop could become a stop of despair, but that is happening every day. Places once called shelters now resemble transfer stations between fading hope and oblivion, especially for the elderly homeless who once had jobs, paid taxes, and believed that society would take care of them in their old age. This is the most bitter fall. Outside the shelters, hundreds of people line up from 4 p.m. just to secure a mattress for the night. But inside, some quietly leave. Not because they have a better place to go, but because they can't stand what is happening in there. Moldy food, unsanitary conditions, and nightly simmering conflicts that erupt as if hell has no end. A veteran shared, "I lost my dentures 2 days ago. All my personal belongings were taken away, even the family photo with my 2 deceased sons." When did we forget that shelters, originally set up as temporary solutions, have become places of detention for those who have nothing left?
Yeah,
Some
shelters are not
call this
trustworthy. I noticed that early when I was
chaotic
homeless.
order. When the authorities dismantle the tents but do not have enough space to replace them.
Like, I've gotten
They
sick
see
when
the
I stayed
elderly
at a
being
shelter
pushed
once.
away like obsolete goods. Businesses hire
Big mold
security
problem, big
24/7
parasite problem in a
because
lot
they
of these
fear
shelters.
people who have nothing left to lose. But those
Has
people,
control problem.
they are not looking for trouble. They just look for a place to sleep without being seen as a threat. Even the police force is starting to get tired. A straightforward officer shared, "If we dismantle the tents today, they will come back tomorrow. If we don't clear them out, the businesses will protest." But the support organizations are also overwhelmed. Everything is like a broken clock. The gears keep turning backward and no one knows how to make it stop. Everything is like a broken clock. The gears keep turning backward and no one knows how to stop it. And if a roof can also become a trap, how many more will step inside in despair without anyone seeing them fall? And if a roof can also become a trap, how many more people will step inside in despair without anyone seeing them fall?
This area is crazy.
There are still quiet people doing extraordinary things in the heart of the city. They don't just call for donations, they buy up abandoned buildings, transforming them into real shelters. Places where people can wash their hair, change clothes, sleep without fear of being chased away, and most importantly, recharge their hope to start life anew. If you, or someone you know, need a place to shelter from the rain, a hot meal, or just a helping hand at the right moment, reach out to the people
Oh, I can
concerned.
drown in there?
Union Rescue Mission, or PATH. They are doing miracles every day, and sometimes just one door opened at the right moment is enough to change a whole life. Enough to change. In a country once proud of the dream of owning a home, in Los Angeles, just having a safe place to sleep overnight has become a luxury. The average rent here has surpassed $3,500 per month,
Oh,
nearly
wow.
double the amount of
Yeah,
social
good luck,
security
guys.
benefits that many elderly people rely on. For those without a corporate pension, without family support, and no longer able to work, they are having to choose between money for medicine and money for rent, between a decent meal or light in their shabby room. On the other side of the street, residents and business owners also live in confusion. The stores hire security all day just to prevent tents from popping up in front of their entrances. But really, who is the real threat? They, the people struggling to survive, or is it the system itself that has pushed everyone into an invisible loop where no one is left unaffected? All of it is like a clock with broken gears. Housing is out of reach, shelters are overcrowded, communities are exhausted, and the government is misguided. And in the midst of those fragments are people who once had homes, once paid taxes, once lived like any of us, now huddled on the cold sidewalks, waiting for a less cruel morning. The question now is no longer, why did they become like this? But rather, why are we gradually accepting this injustice as if it were an inevitable part of life? A society where just one incident can make you lose your home, your privacy, your dignity. Then who among us can truly be confident that we are safe?
Yeah.
The American dream does
It's
not
not a good
fade
system.
due to tremors, but collapses amidst supermarkets, gas stations, and utility bills. A loaf of egg bread can now reach $8. A simple bowl of soup in a modest eatery can also reach $12. The prices of electricity, water, gasoline, and medicine are all quietly rising as if they are competing to see which one will bring you down first. But the most ruthless thing is,
I'm really
this price
distracted by
increase
what
does not
they're
come with a
saying.
better life, but with a feeling of
Shit.
suffocation, oppression, and loss of control. In Los Angeles, the cost of living index is 76% higher than the national average. For young
Yeah.
people with full-time jobs, that is already difficult. And for retirees,
They say people
those who
get paid
lived
more
through the
income,
Great
but it's not
Depression,
enough, even with
raising
that
children with just a trickle of
increased
savings.
income.
This is an endless nightmare. But in another part of the city, you still see crowded cafes, villas with swimming pools, and art exhibitions with $150 tickets. A glamorous Los Angeles, and a Los Angeles that is collapsing, coexisting, but unable to touch each other. The divide is not just economic, it is the gap between those who still have choices and those who have no choices left. Local businesses lament the sharp decline in middle-aged customers. Those who were once loyal customers now have to tighten their spending or leave the city. Even social organizations are exhausted. A staff member of the Meals on Wheels program reported that the waiting list extends over 6 months, meaning there are elderly people living alone, hungry, and forgotten in what used to be their sunny paradise. We used to live in an America where the elderly were respected and cared for. But if today you have to choose between diabetes medication and dinner, then is the American dream still a dream? This is no longer a matter of someone else, not us. This is the reality knocking on every doorstep. When a loaf of bread makes us hesitate, when money for medicine and rent becomes a life and death race, does the American dream still exist for the generation that built this country?
No. I mean,
this is no longer a matter of someone else, not us. This is the reality knocking on every doorstep. When a loaf of bread makes us hesitate, when money for medicine and rent becomes a life and death race, does the American dream still exist for the generation that built this country? According to statistics from the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority, more than 40% of the homeless are over 55 years old. And this number has skyrocketed in just the past few years. Some people once had stable lives.
that sounds about right
Office
for
workers,
over here as well.
veterans.
Those
Just one medical shock, one rent increase
Those numbers.
is enough for them to lose everything. With a subsidy of only about $1,200 a month, how can they afford the minimum rent of over $3,500 a month for a shabby room in Los Angeles? In the tent, encampments spread throughout the city. Many of the people are teenagers. Some drop out of school to work, to survive. Some others live with single parents, those who are working 2 or 3 jobs but still cannot support a family. Schools have to open additional emergency access centers where homeless children can bathe, have breakfast, and request clean clothes. A grocery store owner in Venice recounted, "I once helped an elderly woman get hot water to make noodles. Later, I found out that she used to be a nurse at the nearby hospital. Now, she lives right behind the Costco parking lot near my house. The story shocked many people, but then it went back to normal. But then it was back to square one. We are so accustomed to this scene that it has become normal. In that whirlpool, the weakest generation is the first to be swept away. It's not because they didn't try, but because they no longer have the strength to keep up with the ruthless pace of modern life. They used to be the ones who taught our children, cared for patients in hospitals, and built the roads we walk on. And now, they sit quietly on the sidelines, as if they never existed. So if one day we ourselves are swept off our orbit, who will still remember us? Who will speak up when the generation that built America is now just a shadow
they
in a
won't.
city
They'll
that has
ignore
no
you
place
like
for the
they do
weak?
over here.
When everyone
That's
from
what
the
happens when you're homeless.
elderly
You become
to the
invisible
young,
unless
from residents to
act out,
businesses,
and then you become
starts
a
leaving the
scary
city,
terrorist.
it is no longer a migration. It is a warning.
To them.
Los Angeles was once a symbol of freedom, warm sunshine, and hope. But currently, according to statistics, 143,724 people have left Los Angeles County, and this trend shows no signs of stopping. It is noteworthy that among them, a large portion consists of the elderly and middle-class families, those who once paid taxes, owned homes, and believed this would be the place where they would spend the rest of their lives. People are leaving for many reasons, but the main reason is that they can no longer endure the exhaustion that is enveloping every corner of this city. Rent prices are skyrocketing. A simple meal at a modest restaurant can also cost nearly $20. Services that were once
I'm also
free,
kind of sleepy,
like parking lots and
but
parks,
now I just want to
are
get
now
through this area
commercialized.
while
And
listening
even
to
more
this.
seriously, the feeling of no longer being safe in the neighborhood one used to be attached to. From another perspective, those who cannot afford to leave, such as the homeless, are migrating back into once safe residential areas. When the outskirts can no longer accommodate, when the shelters are overloaded, the homeless are forced to move closer to the middle-class areas. This creates a vicious cycle. People leave because it is unsafe, and their departure makes the neighborhood even more desolate and unmanageable. Small businesses, once the backbone of the community, can no longer survive. A 3-generation family grocery store in Hollywood closed after being robbed 5 times in just 2 months. The store owner simply said, "I don't blame anyone, but I know staying here is choosing to fall slowly." The shop owner simply said, "I don't blame anyone, but I know staying here is choosing to gradually fall apart." And so, one by one, families and memories left this city. And so, one by one, each person, each family, each memory left this city. Not with a bang, no resistance, just a painful letting go. A city called the Angel. But if angels truly exist, then why are so many people leaving to find peace? And if we all run away, who will stay to save what remains of this dream? When a system is built to protect the vulnerable, but causes them to fall first, the issue no longer lies with an individual, but with the very way this society operates. Los Angeles used to be a sturdy machine. It had a community healthcare system, social welfare support, and reintegration programs for the homeless. But today, that machine is getting stuck, and one can hear the
They've
cracks
defunded
from
all that
within.
type of efforts.
A city
All
does
those
not
type of
collapse in
efforts.
a night. It shatters into pieces, quietly, steadily, and
I think
mercilessly.
California is probably the
Just
only
like how
one
Los
left with
Angeles
some.
is fracturing before our eyes.
But everywhere else, no, that's
The
just,
city government once had
they're
high
pulling
hopes
back
for the
on that
Housing
shit.
First program, an initiative considered humane and modern, providing housing for the homeless first, and then supporting their health, employment, and reintegration. As of now, more than 13,000 apartments have been deployed, with billions of dollars invested each year. But the paradox is, the more they build, the more the number of homeless people increases. According to the city auditor's report, the average cost to complete each apartment can exceed $700,000, with some projects reaching up to $837,000, nearly the price of a luxury apartment in the suburbs. Yet many people still have to sleep under bridges, in cars, or in parks. Because that system, although glamorous on paper, encounters irreparable fractures that money cannot mend. Many people cannot access housing because they lack identification documents and
Yeah.
do not meet the verification process. Some others return
You're
to
gonna
the
have to go
streets
to
just after
City
a few
Hall
months,
to get that shit. I've
when the
lost my
accompanying support
identification many
ends,
times.
or when they
I was
do not
homeless,
receive treatment for their chronic health
had to go
conditions.
to City Hall
The
many
Housing
times.
First
to just
model is like putting a roof on a
fix that
foundation
issue.
that isn't strong enough. And when the foundation collapses, everything starts over from scratch. The authorities have also made efforts, from deploying community outreach teams, safe parking lots for people living in their cars, to short-term shelters. But that is still not enough, because the system is not only broken in terms of service, but also in trust. Those who once dedicated their lives, who were teachers, veterans, healthcare workers, now feel sidelined. They don't need promises. They need a place to sit down and breathe without being chased away. We have spent billions to fix the system, but is there anyone left who can restore the faith of those who once believed in it? We once believed that Los Angeles was a symbol of freedom, of opportunity, a place where anyone could start anew. But now, it is those who once dedicated their lives, who believed in the system, who are quietly leaving in disappointment. Not because they failed, but because they waited too long for a miracle that never came. And perhaps the most painful thing is not seeing the city change, but realizing that we no longer recognize the very place we once called home. If a city no longer has a place for the elderly, no longer has hope for the youth, is it still a city worth living in? What do you think about the crisis in Los Angeles? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to like, share.
So this was about Los Angeles. It went into the video about Los Angeles after the Vegas one. I didn't notice it was a different video. Okay. Just get off of that then. Close that tab. Just going down my tabs now. Yeah, I was nodding off. That's why I was dying. But I'm wide awake now. I was also listening to what they were saying and it distracted me. Loses 5 point. Okay, let's listen to this one.
I'm not thrilled. I'm not thrilled about it.
It's called loses 5.1 trillion as Arab League moves to Russia after Trump betrayal. Okay.
I don't have to do that. I'm not thrilled about the whole situation. It's not.
Look, that right there, that's President Trump reacting to Israel striking Doha on September 9th, 2025. And let me tell you, it was not just another day in Middle East politics. That strike, ordered by Netanyahu, it completely destabilized Trump's plans in the Gulf. Inside the White House, according to reports, there was panic, real panic. People are scrambling to figure out what just happened, and more importantly, what to do next.
And the question is, what does President Trump do now? This was a defiant move. They did, our colleagues, Courtney Kuby and Tom Winter, were told that the U.S. was informed about the strike, but there was no request for permission.
Now the media, you know how they are. They'll try to smooth it over. They'll say, oh, nothing to see here, everything's fine. But it's not fine. It's not even close. Because here's the hard truth, $5.1 trillion is on the line. Trillions in deals Trump bragged about securing in the Gulf. And if the US loses Qatar, if that trust evaporates, game over. And I mean that. And the scariest part, the very first move after the strike wasn't Arab leaders calling Washington. Nope, the Arab League went straight to Moscow. They sat down with Russia, not the US. That is a warning sign.
US is not a serious player
when
anymore.
Arab states start treating Russia as a security partner instead of America, the whole alliance the US has built in the Middle East starts to collapse. Just days later in Sochi on September 11th, 2025, the 8th joint ministerial meeting of the strategic dialogue between the GCC and Russia happened. And the words coming out of that meeting, they were strong, they were defining, and they were aimed directly at America. Even U.S. news outlets, usually careful to protect Israel, are starting to admit that Netanyahu's actions could drag Washington into serious trouble.
Reporting is, inside the White House, there was anger, scrambling. Trump sent his top envoy to call Qatar as the bombs were dropping.
Qatar isn't some minor player. It's the host of America's biggest base in the Gulf, and it controls natural gas supplies Europe and Asia can't live without. Yet when Israel struck, Trump froze. That silence, those 20 minutes of silence, told the Arab world everything. America cannot be trusted, and here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. This failure isn't just about Qatar. It's about America losing the entire Arab world, Russia stepping in, BRICS taking over, and the dollar itself starting to look weak. So stay with me, because in this video I'm going to break down how Trump's hesitation handed Russia its biggest victory in decades, why the Arab states are already pivoting, and why this matters for your future. Make sure you subscribe right now, because once you hear this, you won't look at America's power the same way again. Well, let's talk about the trigger. Israel strikes Qatar. Let that sink in for a second. Qatar isn't just any Gulf state. It's the one with the third largest natural gas reserves on the planet. They pump out, what, 80 million tons of LNG a year? And Europe depends on it after cutting off Russian gas. On top of that, Qatar hosts the Al Udeid Air Base, America's biggest military hub in the entire Middle East. So what happens? Qatar gets hit, and the world waits to see what Trump will do. And what does he do? Nothing. Silence. For 20 minutes, nothing comes out of Washington. No strong words, no reassurance, just silence. And you might think, well, 20 minutes, that's not a big deal. But in geopolitics, in that moment, it was everything. That silence told Gulf leaders, America might not have your back. And once that seed of doubt is planted, it grows like wildfire. Think about it. You're
Yeah, the
sitting
U.S.
in
is not
Doha,
looking reliable
your
anymore.
infrastructure is under attack, and the so-called
They never were a
superpower
good
protector
partner, to be
you
honest.
posted on your
They just
soil
exploited other countries.
freezes. What does that say about your future? And then the dominoes start falling. The Arab
of course they're
League,
gonna go with the other
emergency
superpowers
meetings,
at this
leaders
point.
furious not just
Especially
with
when they're
Israel,
growing.
but openly questioning America.
Getting better.
And the loudest voice, Saudi Arabia.
More
The Saudis
influential.
are like, hold on, this is unacceptable. They see America's hesitation as complicity, and look, the Saudis aren't the junior partner anymore. They've been cutting oil production, they've been flexing muscles, they know they've got leverage. And here's where it gets messy. The Saudis start warming up again to Russia, to China, they don't even hide it. And remember, the Saudi-US partnership has been the anchor of the whole Gulf strategy since the 1970s. If Riyadh starts slipping away,
It was just a
the
deal
whole
the
thing
British
unravels.
made.
So what do we see? We see Riyadh floating trial balloons about trading more oil in yuan, about
And the
deepening
US, of
security
course,
ties with Russia. That's not just posturing, that's a shot across Washington's lawn. And no surprise, Russia moves in immediately. Putin hosts Gulf officials in Sochi, and the message is crystal clear. We won't hesitate if you're attacked. We'll stand with you. Now compare that to Washington's 20 minutes of silence. Which one sounds more reliable to you? Russia isn't just selling weapons here. They're offering mediation, energy coordination, political cover at the UN and the Gulf states. They're listening. They're tired of empty American promises. They want guarantees, and Moscow is happy to play that role. And if Russia cracks open the Gulf market, it doesn't just weaken America. It permanently shifts the balance of power in the region.
Good.
Now,
I don't want
let's zoom out
America
a
to be
bit,
strong,
because this isn't
'cause they
just about
all they
military
do is
partnerships. This is about money. The Gulf states
genocide.
aren't dumb. They see what's happening with
Yeah.
BRICS,
They don't
China,
deserve to have
Russia,
influence.
India, Brazil, South Africa. They're building systems to
All they
trade
do is
outside
ruin
the dollar. Qatar already
lives.
tested oil sales in rupees with India
The
back
less
in
influence from them, the
2023.
better.
Saudi Arabia has done deals in yuan. The UAE's experimenting with digital currency settlements, and even
BRICS is
using Indian rupee.
making it
These
easier
aren't one-off
to-
stunts anymore. These are cracks in the petrodollar system.
Countries to-
And folks, let's be honest here, the dollar's global power has always rested on one thing: oil being priced in dollars.
Brilliant idea.
If the Gulf shifts away from that, America loses its biggest financial advantage. The US can't keep printing, can't keep borrowing endlessly if the world doesn't need as many dollars. That's not a theory, that's math. And this Israeli strike, combined with Trump's hesitation, it's accelerating the timeline. What used to be someday is now right now. But here's the twist that a lot of people miss. Qatar, for all its anger, has been super friendly to Trump this year. Doha rolls out the red carpet, smiles, promises investments, talks about how much they value the partnership. On the surface, it looks like loyalty. But let's be real, that's not loyalty, that's hedging. Qatar is buying time. They're keeping the US military presence secure while also deepening ties with BRICS. They're flattering Trump because they know his ego loves it, but behind the curtain, they're setting up for a future where America is not their only option. It's a smart move, honestly. They get protection now, but they're preparing for tomorrow. So then we get to Trump's big chance to patch things up. He meets Qatari officials in New York, and what does he do? He condemns the Israeli strike, sure, but in soft terms. No accountability for Israel, no punishment, just a balancing act. And balancing
They don't want to look like they're capitulating.
fooled no one. The Qataris
It's
heard
actually what the US
weakness,
wants,
the
but they can't be
Saudis heard
open about
betrayal, the
wanting
Russians
to
heard
blow
an
up embassies and
opportunity.
shit.
Trump left that meeting looking like he was trying to please everyone, and in the process, he pleased no one. And for US companies waiting on those $5 trillion in Gulf contracts, that was the moment the alarm started blaring. If the Gulf pulls back, those deals vanish. Entire industries lose future profits. And let me throw this in because it matters. Saudi voices, very loud ones, are saying openly, America cannot be trusted. Not anymore.
True.
You hear that from Riyadh, and you know the ground is shifting. Remember, Saudi Arabia is the kingpin. If Riyadh truly moves away, others follow. And with every public statement like that, with every signal of frustration, confidence in Trump's Gulf strategy erodes. So where are we now? We're staring at a fracture that may already be irreversible. The Gulf is drifting away. Russia is stepping in. BRICS is offering a financial lifeline outside the dollar. And Arab leaders are weighing their options. Trump wanted to show strength, but what he showed was hesitation. He wanted to secure $5 trillion for America, but what he's risking is the collapse of the very foundation that makes those trillions possible. And let me be blunt, the US cannot afford to lose the Gulf. If the Gulf slips into the orbit of Russia and China, the petrodollar weakens, US companies lose their biggest international contracts, and the illusion of American dominance in the Middle East ends. And the scariest part, this isn't some far-off future, it's happening now. If you think today's breakdown was eye-opening, just wait. We've got even bigger stories coming that will shake the way you see America's place in the world. So hit that subscribe button, stay with us, and don't miss what's coming next.
Why don't we get to Qatar?
All right, let's go ahead and put D1 up on the screen here, guys. We've got a Barak Ravid report that Netanyahu did, in fact, give Trump a heads up before Israel bombed Qatar. Of course, they were attempting to take out Hamas political leadership, which was there, gathered to assess a ceasefire proposal that had been, put together probably by the Israelis, but floated by President Trump. Now,
they want to say they were trying to get a Hamas guy, but really it was to threaten Saudi Arabia from working with BRICS. It's really the thing about working with BRICS and working with Russia and China. They don't want the Assads doing that. That's why they bombed. They know Hamas is like a nothing burger, and that Netanyahu just uses them as an excuse to bomb and kill more Palestinians. Starve them, genocide them, basically. Sorry for anybody who might see this. This is I'm half paying attention because I'm listening to this, and I'm also half asleep.
We had Jeremy Scahill on while this news was breaking of this attack on Hamas political leadership within Qatar. And immediately all of us said, it has to be the case that the U.S. had a heads up. We have sent Trump there. We have tens of thousands of troops stationed in Qatar. There's no way that they could attack inside of Doha and feel like that would be okay without getting some sort of a heads up. Totally. So Barak Ravid here with the report says Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu informed President Trump last Tuesday morning that Israel planned to attack Hamas leaders in Qatar shortly before the strike took place, according to 3 Israeli officials with direct knowledge. Now, since then, Trump has come out to deny this report, and then the Israelis publicly said, oh, yeah, what he said. Sure, we totally didn't give him a heads up. He learned he says he learned the same way that all of us learned what was going on there. Okay, let's go ahead and take a listen to what Trump had to say.
Did Bibi Netanyahu speak to you directly to alert you that Israel was going to be striking Hamas sites in Qatar?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Yeah, go ahead.
How did you learn of it?
Same way you did.
How did you learn the same way you did? Okay, sure. Prime Minister's office says the White House rendition of events is correct. Israel's action against Hamas leaders in Doha was a fully independent Israeli operation. Israel initiated, carried it out, and takes full responsibility. Again, this comes after 3 Israeli officials leaked to Barak Ravid. Like, dude, of course we gave them, of course. Right. We gave them a heads up. And what that means is that you're given a green light. Because if the U.S. had said no, then they would not have done it. But if they say we're doing this and there isn't an objection, that is the same as there being an affirmative green light for this action. Now, why doesn't Trump want to claim that, wants to claim that he didn't know in advance? It's because, he doesn't want to be in hot water with the Qataris. He wants this plausible deniability that, Israel was allowed to
can't let you hit
bomb
him
one
straight
of our
on, like,
allies in the region that he has positive relationships where,
make it so
again,
your
lots
hitbox
of
is
U.S.
really
troops are
just
stationed. He wants to be
useless
able to
against
deny that, even though,
when they're
like,
moving
it's
at all.
absurd to think that the Barack Ravid version of events isn't exactly what happened.
Oh, I mean, look, let's be clear here. Like, Barack Ravid, at this point, he could be a stenographer for the Trump government, but he's also a stenographer, clearly, for some of the Israeli government. And I think really what has happened is that the Israelis are seeing very clearly that they were being blamed for striking Qatar without Trump approval. And while Netanyahu needs to maintain that fiction, the rest of his security cabinet's like, hold on a sec. The world needs the truth. We didn't do shit without America's approval. Trump had plenty of time to call this off. In fact, one Israeli official, a fourth one, reached out to Ravid and said, your story is 98% accurate. The only issue is you said your call was at 8 a.m. It was actually at 7:45 a.m. before the attack happened. That's the only quibble that I have with what you have reported. So, yeah, I mean, look, it always seemed the case. And that's what we even said. We were like, look, you have two options. Both are horrible. Israel feels compelled enough to be able to strike Qatar, literally without even calling the United States. The other is that we knew about it and lied. I honestly don't know which is worse. I think knew about it and lied is 10 times worse, because now the reporting from the Israeli officials want to come out and set the record straight. And it shows also that the Qataris themselves, they look like a joke, because their entire security strategy is buy hundreds of billions of weapons from Qatar, or from the United States. We will host a U.S. base that will and should protect us. And now the whole Gulf has woken up and said, oh my God, not only can they kill us, they killed one of our citizens. The attack failed. It didn't even kill the Hamas leaders that they wanted to. And the government will just say it's totally fine. I mean, Trump apologized for it, you know, in that statement. Since then, the Secretary of State has been like, yeah, terrorists, they're going to get killed wherever they are. Okay. I mean, and that's why you see this, there's a Gulf confab right now where MBS and the Qataris and everybody's gathering, and they're like, what are we going to do about this? They're realizing for the first time who's actually in charge. They thought they could buy America off, and even their dollars have not been enough to protect them. So
That's right.
Good luck. And also, yeah, it's going to be great whenever they just look right across from the #1 purchaser of oil in the world, China, and say, hey, there's a nice, pretty relationship sitting right over there.
Yeah,
Good, great.
Absolutely right. And at the same time, we're getting some leaks from within the Israeli administration about their actual reasons for the war with Iran, which of course were not the same as the public reasons that were given. We can put D4 up on the screen here. So this is from the Times of Israel. They say a historic moment. Leaked transcripts reveal secret deliberations at the start of the Iran war. They say Channel 13 News published the details, part of a report set to air in full. They did not detail how they obtained the transcripts from these top secret closed-door meetings. But Netanyahu said at the meeting's outset, we are at a historic moment with a crucial decision. If we don't stop them, being the Iranians, within a few years, they will get tens of thousands of kilograms of nuclear explosives within a few years. Remember how this was sold? It's imminent. The breakout time is, days, weeks, months away. We have to do this now. We can't wait. Within a few years, they will get tens of thousands of kilograms of nuclear explosives. Iran has already enriched fissile material at a level that is enough for 8 to 9 bombs. They're working on the weaponization. If we don't act, we simply won't be here. In addition, he said they're getting close to being the second biggest powerhouse on ballistic missiles. After we destroy some of their sites and scientists, negotiations for a deal will be held in a different reality. We've held marathon discussions over many months. An unnamed senior military official told the ministers that one of the goals of the operation was to create the conditions for preventing Tehran from going nuclear in the long term and to improve Israel's strategic balance. They also, of course, admit that they are completely reliant on the U.S. in terms of damaging Fordow. They said Fordow will be destroyed only if the U.S.
Okay. That was auto playing. We're gonna get off of that now. Yeah, they fucked up. The U.S. fucked up. They're not gonna protect. I mean, the United Arab Emirates know that they're not gonna be protected now. So what's the point of even working with the U.S. anymore? Might as well just do deals with Russia and China. I
let's segue to the Israel part here around Charlie Kirk. There's been a huge dust up right now, very lately after Charlie Kirk's assassination. I want to be clear at the top that some of it is absolutely unhinged. People just outright saying shit like Israel killed Charlie Kirk. There's not a single scrap of evidence to...
Oh, wait a minute. This is playing? Yeah. Okay, I didn't know it went to another video about Qatar. All right, whatever. Yeah, what he said there is accurate, though. They're talking about Charlie Kirk at the same time as the, Oh, this is about Charlie Kirk, not Qatar. I guess I'll listen to this then.
It like Israel killed some of Israel part here around Charlie Kirk. There's been a huge dust up right now, very lately after Charlie Kirk's assassination. I want to be clear at the top that some of it is absolutely unhinged. People just outright saying shit like Israel killed Charlie Kirk. There's not a single scrap of evidence to support that. What I think is a legitimate conversation, which we're all about to have, is about the role that Charlie played in the conservative movement. The question...
I don't know why we gotta have Israel as a placeholder when the U.S., the U.S. and Israel are one and the same. Just say America. America wanted him dead, and for whatever reason, we don't even know the motive of the supposed alleged shooter. So we don't know why he got killed. For some political reason. What? What was the motive he stated? We don't have any evidence of the motive. They didn't even give one. Shit, they haven't got their story straight. Anyway, yeah, I think that shooter that they said is the shooter is a patsy. That's my take.
He was beginning to ask about Israel. He was unambiguously pro-Israel. Let's be very clear. He also was unambiguously against, like, Groypers and, quote, Jew hate, as he even told me in the segment that we did, a few weeks before that he was murdered. I want to be clear, though, that what has happened since, in my opinion, is disgusting, is that the Israeli government, I'm not going to denigrate pro-Israeli forces here in America. They have a right to do so because there's a lot of evidence for that. But the Israeli government itself, Benjamin Netanyahu, has had a concerted effort to claim Charlie as one of his own and to basically use his death for the political support of his country in our country. That is what I find absolutely objectionable, and it goes deeper. This flared up in, honestly, a pretty crazy moment here with Tucker Carlson, who was invited to the White House for part of the tribute segment with J.D. Vance on Charlie Kirk's show. Tucker called out Bibi Netanyahu specifically and many of the donors who pressured Charlie Kirk to actually to keep towing the line on Israel. Here's what Tucker had to say.
That was the question. If you were good faith, you're on his team.
That is exactly right. Good faith is the measure. And I have to say, I think now is exactly the wrong time to appropriate the memory of someone and the emotion that comes with that, the really intense emotion that all of us feel at his murder, and use it for your own parochial ends. Like, he stood for this, but I don't think it's helpful for people to jump in, particularly foreign heads of state, to say, this is what, he lived for my cause or whatever. That's disgusting, actually. Don't do that. That turns everybody off. You don't help your own cause by doing that, and it's also literally untrue. It did worry me, because I think your description is perfect. He was one of the very few who took that message and stood by it. I mean, right to the very end. This cannot get bigger. We don't want another regime change war. But man, some of the people who send money to Turning Point, his donors, were very tough on him. So tough on him that I could feel it. I talked to him a lot in the last few months, and he was under enormous pressure. He never bent. He never became bitter.
He kept his integrity to the very end.
To the very end.
Very politically sensitive, I think, for the vice president to have Tucker there saying specifically about Bibi.
Talked to him a lot in the last few months. I talked to him a lot in the last few months, and he was under enormous pressure. He never bent. He never became bitter.
He kept his integrity to the very end.
To the very end.
He's talking to JD
Very
Vance.
politically sensitive, I think, for the vice president to have Tucker there saying specifically about Bibi Netanyahu's basically claiming of Charlie Kirk's legacy, and to bring up this donor piece. Let's stick with the donor piece, because this has now exploded into a lot of accusations. Things are flying around here. So there's an allegation now that's been made by the Gray Zone and by Candace Owens, specifically about Bill Ackman, and a recent conference in August in which Ackman gathered with a bunch of influencers, conservative influencers. By Ackman's account, there were approximately people with nearly 100 million followers that were in the room. There were a bunch of different events and conversations that were had at this gathering at Ackman's residence, I believe, in the Hamptons, in New York. He gathered them all together for like this confab to kind of talk about. One of the things that they talked about was Israel. There is an allegation now from the Gray Zone, from Candace Owens, that Charlie was berated and lectured about Tucker Carlson's previous presence at the Students for Action Summit previously, and about some of the dissident things that Charlie had said about the state of Israel and about specifically U.S. support for Israel. So here's what Candace laid out in her show yesterday. Let's take a listen.
In the Hamptons, and he had more than one event, but he had essentially what was staged, an intervention was staged by Bill Ackman, because Charlie's rational thoughts about Israel were a no-no. This is not the route that you should be going
This
on.
is Candace Owens.
And Charlie was surrounded by his friends.
Yeah, his thoughts about Israel were a no-no, the ones he never expressed ever. What are you talking about? I hate this rebranding they're trying to do. This complete revisionism. Charlie barely said shit against Israel. The only thing that they can point to even try to make this argument is this one question he asked, and it wasn't even really in criticism of Israel. It was like, how do we defend Israel when this is being said through all like a bunch of media that they're committing a genocide? That's not necessarily him criticizing Israel. He's asking, how do we respond to people thinking that and saying that, and that's all that looked like to me. I need a good comeback for people who point out the genocide. He was clearly okay with the genocide, since he says like, he made that joke about throwing people off of roofs. Now they don't have any more roofs, so he had no sympathy for those people. So, I guess you could say, well, never mind. We'll talk about that another day. Oh, I already hit that switch. Shit. Sorry, I was drinking something. So I had to pause. Oh my god, he jumps now. What the fuck, guy? Why are you jumping? He's jumping me, and I'm getting in, like, literally and figuratively. 1 second. Yeah, let's hear this sold-out Candace Owens talk about this Charlie Kirk, and reframe him as a martyr against the IDF or some dumb shit. You know, it could be that Israel assisted in killing Charlie Kirk, but if they killed him, it wasn't because of all the criticism he made against him. Because there was very little of it in public.
Friends, quote unquote friends, Bill Ackman was very upset and threats were made. I know it went down this way. I'm waiting for one of them to go on record and to say that it didn't go down this way. It was at this time that Bibi Netanyahu was called and Charlie was invited to Israel. This was an under duress situation, I would say, because I've been in these situations before. It felt like a threat, like not like, hey, come here and we can educate you because you're my friend, more like, this is your last chance. That's how it felt to me. I can't speak to how it felt to Charlie. And I know that Charlie was offered a ton of money in this moment. A ton of money. Bibi would fund it, you know. Charlie said no to Bibi. Okay. Bill Ackman, if you would like to dispute that, I would love to hear what you say happened, because our sources and what we have,
show the proof.
It's solid. Okay.
Show it.
There were conversations that took place, messages that were sent at that time, and they are solid. But I also went out to 2 other people who were at this meeting, and nobody is willing to go on record. They're all messaging each other, trying to figure out a coordinated response to say that, no, this was all quite cordial, but no one wants to go on record and describe it as cordial because they know someone's leaking, because someone's got a guilty conscience about what happened at the Hamptons. I am inviting you guys, I will give you my platform, actually, to come clear matters up and tell us what really happened, because, you know, I think Charlie was definitely on the brink of changing some of his perspectives.
Okay, so that's from Candace. I want to be very clear here that Bill Ackman is disputing a lot of this. Put this up here on the screen. Here's what Ackman had to say. He said that this afternoon, Candace Owens slandered me, accusing of staging an intervention. He lays out specifically everything that I did about the conference, about the gathering that happened. What he says is that he had an initial Zoom with Charlie. The agenda for the meeting that he took place in was the economic future of America, the cultural landscape of dating and marriage, the convergence of East and West, Mamdani, the new threat to America. And what we see, actually, again, with what we see with Bill Ackman's tweet broadly is he's disputing that there was any sort of confrontation, intervention, and all of that. I will also note that Charlie's former producer has said that he does not believe that that account is accurate.
I have that if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
This is from former producer Andrew Colvett.
Yeah.
I've been asked about the Bill Ackman event more than a few times now, so I asked our staff who were traveling with Charlie to find out what's true, what's not. And his team was with him 100% of the time when he wasn't in his hotel room. Here's what they told me, quote, Bill never yelled at Charlie, never pressed him on Bibi, never gave him a list of Charlie's offenses against Israel. There was concern raised about having Tucker at SAS. We don't believe this came from Bill, and Charlie's reply was, quote, honestly, people telling me not to have Tucker makes me want to have Tucker, and I'm going to lock him in for AmFest too. Charlie personally told me he had a very cordial relationship with Bill, and the event was productive. Those are the facts.
Yes.
Okay. So he does confirm there was some sort of something said about upset expressed over Tucker being at this previous Turning Points event.
It fits also with, there was a podcast that was recorded with Megyn Kelly right around this time where Charlie said effectively something to effect of, I feel like I can criticize my own government with more ease than I can fit the Israeli government.
What he said is actually, I misquoted this the other day. What he said is that he feels like Israelis can criticize the Israeli government more than he can, and that was crazy to him. That yeah, that it is accurate. Yeah. that you know, he felt this constraint. And the other thing is, like, I don't know what happened in the Hamptons. There's a couple things I will say when it comes to these type of like billionaire donors. It doesn't normally, like the pressure doesn't have to be so overt. Charlie's a sophisticated actor in this space.
Absolutely. And by the way, he acknowledged so much of this publicly.
Right. A big part of his role is fundraising and donor maintenance. As the head of a large organization that receives a lot of like wealthy, high net worth individual backing, that is a large part of what he would be doing. So you don't need them to yell at you to know what they want you to do. You don't need like direct, overt blackmail threats, etc. You know, there could be much more subtle indications of like, oh, you know, if Tucker isn't at the next event, then I think I have some donors I could bring in. I think I have some money that could come. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying that's the way these things typically work, because everyone knows the game. You don't need, if you're Charlie Kirk, you're a smart person, you don't need anyone to blatantly tell you, we want you to be towing the line 100%. You think he doesn't know that? Of course he knew that. Of course he knew that. And then to your point, Sagar, like a good bit of this was out in public. Laura Loomer was going after Charlie Kirk aggressively. She's now since, I think, deleted a bunch of her tweets over this. But if you put D7 up on the screen, Laura Loomer was attacking him. There were tons of pro-Israel conservatives who were going after him for hosting not only Tucker but Dave Smith for a debate on Zionism there. She said, I don't ever want to hear Charlie Kirk claim he is pro-Trump ever again after this weekend. I'd say he's revealed himself as a political opportunist. I've had a front row seat to witness the mental gymnastics these last 10 years. Lately, Charlie's decided to behave like a charlatan, claiming to be pro-Trump one day while he stabs Trump in the back the next. There was a lot of upset about the Dave Smith debate and about Tucker being at that event specifically, and a lot of that was public. So I have zero doubt that he was feeling a squeeze, and we discussed this previously as well. Even before his killing, he was feeling a squeeze between. My primary role is to back up this administration. If you doubt that that's the case, just see, J.D. Vance taking over, the Vice President of the United States taking over his podcast, after he's killed. His primary role is to back up this administration. However, since he's supposed to be a voice for these young people, and you see organically young people across the board, including young Republicans, saying, what are we doing? How is this America first? He was feeling very pressured between the support of the administration, the need to keep his donors on board, and being able to keep his, young base from fleeing to other influencers like a Nick Fuentes or like a Candace Owens. He was obviously feeling that pressure and trying to figure out how to navigate that space. So that's why he had you on. That's why he allowed Tucker and Dave Smith to be at his event. He wasn't going to say it, but so he's sort of creating plausible deniability for himself, but he would let these other people in to say it. That's why he had that youth focus group on Israel again, which we covered, which again was a way for him to, he's not going to be the one to say it, but at least he's allowing these voices to be out there and be given representation on his platform.
Exactly right. Very, very well said. And that's why I started the way that we did, is that a lot of this is being thrown around, oh, Israel killed. Listen, the controversy to me is the way that the Bibi Netanyahu government is trying to claim Charlie Kirk. And I want to be very clear to the extent that they did. He appeared on Fox News twice, almost in the immediate aftermath of Charlie's death, to celebrate him as a great friend of Israel. Nobody asked you, by the way. You could have just said our condolences to the family. And instead, it was all about how he was a great warrior for Bibi's cause. Take a listen to that.
He was a defender of our common Judeo-Christian civilization. He was unbelievably excited to walk in the footsteps of Jesus here. He valued our bond, the bond between America and Israel.
Now you care about Jesus.
He did so many things to defend free speech. He had his truth. He stood up for it. But he said, you can come and debate me. He invited that debate. He certainly didn't invite the violence, the horrible violence that tried to silence him. And this is a worldwide problem. The people on the on the extremes, the Islamists, the radical Islamists, and their union with the ultra-progressives, they often speak about human rights. They speak about free speech, but they use violence to try to take down their enemies.
Yeah.
Unlike me,
this was like
I never use violence to take down my enemies.
It was the Bibi Netanyahu
Especially if
Gvir.
they're
These
children.
are ministers of the
Yeah.
Israeli government. And we
We
had
also tried to assert before we knew anything
Yeah.
about anything
That it was a
the
radical
killer was an
Islamist.
Islamist.
We don't even know the
What,
motive
like
of
just
the killer.
trying to
They still
will that
won't even
into
say.
being because it serves his ends of making people
the
hate
alleged killer.
Muslims more. I mean, it's just like I want people to really take a second. Imagine it was literally any other foreign head of state.
Totally.
How bizarre! It's just it's bizarre. It's inappropriate. It's uncouth. I mean, it's just gross. And I just
Israel is fully propped up and backed by the U.S. They're not like some typical foreign country. It's an AstroTurf satellite that the West has been funding since inception. They're not like some autonomous region that is, set up shop before, like they have like a history before the U.S. Like, no, the U.S. pretty much built that fucking country. It's basically a U.S. satellite. It's not a real foreign country. It is a satellite for the U.S. military-industrial complex in the Middle East. That's what it is. They are there to exert Western hegemony in the Middle East. That's why they call them the only democracy in the Middle East. What they mean by that is they're the only Western representing country in the Middle East. The others are just merely vassals at best, like the United Arab Emirates. They're vassals to the U.S. but reluctantly, and they had history before the U.S. ever existed.
I've seen people do this with other, figures who have passed away. I've actually seen people do this with regard to like Michael Brooks, who obviously is like a.
And also elaborate more. Yeah, Israel doesn't have its own. It doesn't create its own currency. We give them money. Their money comes from us. Their weapons, they don't make. The weapons come from us. We give them weapons. If we didn't do that, the country wouldn't exist. They couldn't be able to do the genocide they're doing. So, something to point out. They're not like some real power that's autonomous. It's an illusion to present it that way. As they're a real foreign adversary when they have no actual pull without the U.S. to begin with. The U.S. and Israel are partners in crime. I hate when people try to separate Israel from the U.S. Israel and the U.S. are one and the same in regard to agenda. Oh, does that fucking guts? Does that protect me from this shit? I wonder. There's gotta be a shortcut I'm missing. This is taking too long. Oh, wait a minute. Let's go get that first. Probably won't be able to use it though. This. trying to get through there. Fuck. It's hard to keep my health with this fucking shit. Okay, that whatever that roach guts is, I don't know what it does. Tough and slimy with a rank odor, unpalatable to most. What do we do with it? Okay.
Much less famous.
I gotta go. It's getting late. It's really late. I failed. I didn't progress, but you know, interesting conversation anyway. I'll progress when I'm awake tomorrow. Anyway, take care.